Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here. We're drinking beer and play a game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 328. Thank you for joining us tonight. New year, new me, old tradition. Bri, we have our first guest of the year, and it's how we've been kicking off every year for, as he so delightfully told us, because I wasn't going to do any background work, 7 years in a row. Our buddy Bladeblur. You can call him Dan. You can call him asshole. You can just go.
Oh, penis!
You can call him whatever you want. But he's here with us tonight. Blade, how you doing, bud?
Oh, male genitalia!
Well, now you just gave Jim another soundboard. Damn it.
Good. Good. Let's just throw more wood to the fire, as they say. I mean, might as well at this point. I'm only going to heck anyways. Why am I
How's it
saying
going,
heck?
bud?
I can say hell.
Yeah, why are you acting like we're anything clean whatsoever?
Yeah, this is like what? A 17-plus podcast? I think that's okay at this point.
Yeah, it's safe to say that.
Maybe 17 and a half. But, first of all, thank you again for having me. This is always a delight. This is like probably one of my favorite things to do every January, so thank you again for having me. And I'm doing okay, just doing the usual, act of being alive and living and, trying to survive in this great world of ours, to say the least.
Blade, when the hell are you going to release more than one video a year? When are you going to get back on the horse? That's the real question.
I made 2 in 2025, to be fair.
When you're right, you're right. And you're right.
But it's a fair question, because one of the things I do want to actually do this time is, if I ever gonna make, well, not if, but when I'm gonna make my top 10 of 2025, it's not gonna be in September or like August or whatever. I'm gonna try to make it March at the latest. That's the goal right now. So, and then it leaves me for the rest of the year open, just do some other stuff. So that's the idea. At least we'll see how much I actually stay true to that goal. But you heard it here, folks, so you can call me out. And if I'm wrong, you can be very cross with me.
And actually, speaking of talking about the games you beat the year before, tomorrow, as of this recording, we're recording on Thursday the 15th, I have a little tier list video coming out for the games I beat last year. See, it's a lot easier when you only beat 9 games. So you can just crap out a video much quicker than the, 60-some that you beat, whatever the hell you went through, like a crazy person?
Sheesh. I think the new ones were 66. But if we count the games I played on stream that I only beat, I think it's like 78 overall, so... Yeesh.
Jesus Christ.
I know, I'm insane. I'm cutting it down for 2026 to focus on actual, creative endeavors and, personal, professional projects, let's say that. So, I learned my lesson. I think I've done a little bit too much.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about it, and obviously we've already mentioned previously, we're kind of changing a formula to our challenges. We have some personal challenges, but we're not like, all right, beat X number of games, because then you feel like it's more of a chore. Like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it last podcast, Jim, but so on the Switch 2, I'm going through playing A Link to the Past, committed to beating it. Once again, convenience of the Switch, good thing to have when you're taking a poop and you're doing other stuff. So I've been playing through that. I beat that Gray Hill Incident game on Twitch, which once again, thank you, Blade. You were one of them. So always surprised when people are still showing up and subscribing. Tomorrow I'll probably stream again. I'm trying to do that every Friday at lunchtime. Beat that game. Interesting little alien abduction game. And I'm still playing through Graveyard Keeper. I think that's the name of it. It's that one that I said that's like a farm simulator. But I've been pretty slow this week overall with gaming. Just busy as shit with work and just other stuff and cranking out the videos for the shorts. So gaming took a little bit of a backseat, but I got some in today. What about you, Chambers? What you been playing?
Just more Hollow Knight. When I have my free time, that's the game I'm stuck on right now. No, not stuck. I'm just when I have a free moment, I want to sit down and play Hollow Knight. It's got its grips in me, something fierce. And I'm trying to parse in my head right now if it is just that good or if it's just so refreshing to play a really good Metroidvania after the couple hours I spent hating my life playing Metroid Prime Remastered. So, I mean, I don't know if it's, rose tinted glasses here, but I do think the quality's there from what most people would say, except for someone who's here. Wait,
Oh,
go,
I'm finally
go.
glad I can have a stage to air my grievances. So, first and foremost, I want to say before anything else, kudos Brian for making those shorts every day so far in 2026. It's been a great thing to essentially wake up to and check my my reels and see all the different music choices. So, yeah, kudos to that. I've been really enjoying that project.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's been fun. I told
And Jim
Jim,
too.
I'm actually shocked by like we got a lot of people who were submitting songs, but what I always wanted it to do and what it's already doing is now people in comments are like, "Hey, can I request this? Can I request this?" And I don't want to
That's
fill it
right.
in with just a bunch of me and Jim picks because Jim picks are always terrible.
Shut up.
So, he
What
didn't.
about my pick?
I like how he had to take his picture. He had to stop to smile to take his picture.
Shut up.
Yeah, but what about my pick? Did you like my pick?
Oh, I loved your
was
pick.
great. Your pick was really good. Jim's,
Yeah.
you know, Jim's was Jim's.
Look, just because his one Earthworm Jim pick did better than like three of mine so far, it doesn't mean shit. Shut up. Shadowrun did well. Shadowrun was fine. Everyone shut up.
I mean, my next pick is kind of trollish, but I do enjoy that song, both ironically and unironically. And when we get there, we will get there. So,
Listen, I want to do a little at the end of each month. I want a good recap. Me and Jim will probably be like, pick what our favorite song. We can't pick our own, obviously. Pick the
obviously.
favorite song that was requested, and I haven't decided if we're gonna say pick your least favorite. But there's some picks I've seen that I've come across, and I've gone, hmm. But put that aside, no, I do thank you, Blade.
Yeah.
So, other than obviously beating a million games, what are you actively playing right now?
Yeah, well, I also want to address quickly the whole Metroid thing too, because I have to mention that for the record, I do love Metroid Prime, but I think I've also learned something incredibly important this past year, and that's the fact that sometimes, no matter how fantastic a game is or how well lauded it is, sometimes you're just not gonna connect to something, and that's totally okay. So to my point to Jim, if you played Metroid Prime Remaster, which is definitively the best version of that game with, modern controls, and you still didn't connect with it, that's totally okay. I still love that game, and it's not going to change the fact that I think it's still one of my favorite games of all time. But sometimes we just don't have a connection with something, and it's more about not necessarily liking it, but at least respecting what it did, to open world exploration and stuff like that. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. But that to your point though, I actually beat Hollow Knight for the first time last year, and I actually didn't connect with it at all. I even got the true ending, the true final boss in that game. And while I do think it's a very well made game, I just was thinking it was kind of fine because nothing really stuck with me in terms of the character or bosses, and I'm not the big fan of the darker setting or whatever. It just feels kind of depressing at times. So for me, that was not my kind of game that I usually vibe with. But that being said, to answer the question what I'm playing right now, there's a bunch of games that I'm playing right now for my rotation for the top 25. I am playing Silk Song, for example, and I'm about, I want to say, maybe 5 hours into it. Chef's kiss. I actually think it's so much more fun than the original Hollow Knight. I'm actually pleasantly surprised of how much I actually really like it for a few reasons. I like Hornet more as a main character than whoever's I don't know the name of the main character and all. I just the Traveler, I guess. I don't
Did
think it
they
has
even have a
name.
name? I forget.
Yeah.
I'm playing it right now. I couldn't tell you the person's name.
Yeah, I think the combat with it is also very fun. I like the whole pogo mechanic. It's kind of like if you play DuckTales for the NES, thing you can pogo enemies, but instead of doing it straight down, it's like a diagonal. So you have to really strategize of how to hit the enemy properly. I like the environments. The music is great, and the bosses to me are a huge step up from the original Hollow
Hmm.
Knight 2. So I'm vibing with that game a lot. Besides that, I just been I did a quick medley of a bunch of other games I've been playing. So I tried out Ball X Pit or Ball Pit, I guess it's called, which I'm not sure if any of you two heard of it, perhaps.
I heard good things. I don't know anything about it.
Ball pit is basically what if you take like an Arkanoid or like a Breakout and you put like Vampire Survivor elements into it essentially.
Oh, go
So
on.
you're in a vertical scrolling wall and you progress slowly and you have to shoot balls to destroy enemies. And essentially you collect power-ups to make, different kind of balls, like balls that can poison enemies or create giant explosions and stuff like that, or shoot multiple balls. I'm saying a lot of balls in this last sentence. Jesus Christ. But the idea is that, you die and you keep trying, and then in between levels you also get to go to your big you have like a big farm area where you get to like harvest resources to create better weapons or recruit more characters and stuff like that. So if you like Vampire Survivors and you like Breakout, that's a decent one. I like that one.
Hmm.
Okay. Let's see, another one I just started playing recently was Absalom, which again, I'm not sure if you heard of Absalom at all.
That's one that My Life in Gaming had in their video, didn't they?
Right, yeah, I believe Corey talked about it if I remember correctly. But
That one looked cool.
yeah, that one. Which one of the two you like Streets of Rage 4 more between the two of
Definitely
you?
me.
Yeah, you would like it because it's from the people who did the combat system for Streets of Rage 4, essentially. It's what if you took Streets of Rage 4, put like, a medieval fantasy setting to it, but make it a roguelite in a sense that a beat 'em up is kind of like a roguelite in a way because, when you lose in a beat 'em up, you go all the way to the beginning anyway, and you have to start from the beginning. But add
Hmm.
like a roguelite element to it that each time you get like special abilities, like, oh, your sword attack now can use fire damage, or you get different abilities and stuff like that. And you could play it co-op with a friend. Wink, wink. I mean, that's definitely something the two of you can perhaps do. And you two love beat 'em ups too, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's one of your favorite genres.
Yeah, but I hate
Oh
Brian
yeah,
though. So
yeah, because I always do better than I'm in the beat 'em up, so I can't
shut up.
blame him.
Well, I mean, someone has to do the carrying, though, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've been
can mute
playing.
your ass at any goddamn time, and I will do it. I will kick.
Uh, and I'm bringing it up too because it's such a cool game because it also has splitting paths, very similar to Guardian Heroes, actually. So you don't have necessarily to just go like, in a straight path and go like up or down and changes the levels that you play. So it requires multiple playthroughs, which is really cool. And the art style is absolutely gorgeous. So that's another really fantastic one. And the last thing I'm playing simultaneously, probably so far, I think I played the most out of it is Baby Steps.
Okay. I think you were talking about that in the Discord, but what is that again?
So Baby Steps is from the folks who did one of the folks, Bennett Foddy, who did that one game, where you're that guy in that pot and you have like the big mallet and you have to like climb a mountain. If you remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he also did like that co-op game, like that game where you're like a runner in a marathon. You have to press like the QW
It's
keys.
like it's like really annoying controls to see
Yes.
how far you can progress.
So essentially, with Baby Step, it's kind of like that. You're playing this like literally a man child who basically cannot do anything right in his life, and you have
Wait,
to.
that's Jim. I'm
Yeah,
looking at I'm actually looking at the video. That is from behind. That is Jim with an S.
yeah.
Just sir, I have an
I'm
ass.
supposed to Jim with
Jim.
just give him a gray onesie and a pair of glasses, and that's your
Oh
Halloween.
my god,
costume.
we have his costume for next year. Dude,
Don't you
I'm
have
not
to
even
look-
joking. This one picture, I didn't see the front of his face. What the fuck?
Just put it
This
on
is-
screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I am sharing this, Jim.
Don't worry, bro. I'll do it for you right now.
Oh, Jim, this is amazing.
Geez. So the idea is that you control this character, Nate, each of his legs individually, and you have to like shift your weight with the analog stick very carefully to walk, and you just fall off like a lot.
I fucking hate you changed your name to Daddy. It just said Daddy shared a file in the meeting. God damn it.
Click that file, Jim. Tell me I'm not wrong. Open it up,
You people. Jesus fucking Christ.
Jim. Click on it.
I looked at it. I see it.
What-
I'm not happy.
What made you more mad, the picture or the notification?
I'm just
I mean,
those
they've had
episodes.
some inspiration for the character model, they probably looked at your personal Facebook, and it's like that we want that in our game.
Inspiration comes in many ways, as they say.
Oh my god.
But just to say why I really like this game so far is that at first I was actually willing to essentially rage.
I think I know why Brian likes it so far.
I mean, everyone likes, like Jim's wonderful glutes.
Derp!
Oh fuck. Oh, sorry, Blade.
But yeah, go. Sorry, go ahead.
no,
Sorry to
no,
cut you off.
I was watching it, but no, like from that same. I assume it plays similar to his other games, where it's like the control is kind of wonky, and that is like you walk very goofily.
Intentionally so, but that's kind of what I like about it, is because if you played a character like, say, Sonic the Hedgehog, you can easily run and jump like over all those hills and steps and clear the level quickly. But I think I like the idea of you controlling each individual step and slowly, carefully you're
Stop
playing
fucking
how you
giggling,
climb.
Brian.
Sorry, I just watched the walk animation and fuck Jim. The walking makes it worse.
Every day's a blessing.
I
Blade,
think
why don't you wrap this segment up on this game real quick there, Blade?
No,
We're not going to get through this anytime soon.
I guess we'll have to get through this segment in baby steps. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well,
Damn it, Jim.
I deserve that one. Actually, that's fair. No, but I just want to say, this is the kind of game that you will fall a lot. And I think what's the most frustrating thing about it is, imagine you climbing almost to the peak of a mountain, you press the button the wrong way, and then your character goes, like going down a slope all the way to the bottom. And the thing is that you cannot reset. You have to do the whole thing over again. And it's freaking aggravating, to say the fucking least. But you know what? I persevered, and I just kept going and going and going and enjoying myself, while I'm doing it, because it's also a very funny game. Like, the cutscenes are legitimately hilarious, and I want to see more of that story, just to experience more of that game. So that's why I really like it. I mean, I know it's a very emotional telling there, Brian, of my struggles and woes, but yeah.
I have a headache from laughing too hard, and the falling.
Literally, it's how he does. Like, he flops on the ground like a dead fish or like a dying.
I'm literally watching a video as you're describing it, and you're not lying at all. And I've said what I need to say.
If you watch like a rage compilation of people being upset of falling all the time, it's really fucking hilarious, actually. And I'm shocked of how much I want to rage quit that game, but I'm still persevering through it, because it is actually really fucking fun despite all the frustration involved.
Man, I want to rage quit, and I didn't even play the game yet. That's fucking crazy.
Jim, you are definitely playing this game on Twitch, for sure. You have a PC. There's no excuse. I will even let you use our funds to buy it. You are going to play it until you beat it, and you are going to rage. And you're going to wear glasses, because the guy has the glasses in there, and you're going to wear a onesie, and that's it.
It's funny, because I was thinking of choosing a game for you to beat, just like how I try to beat one of your games. I should probably choose a game for you, and you know what? This just fits like, Jim into a onesie.
Oh, fuck. This is... Thank you, Blade.
Can you do me a favor, Jim, and just go, Apple!
Yo, what?
He really likes fruit, so when he eats fruits, he like gets super excited about just go, Apple!
I'm kind of retarded.
I think that's it.
Damn it, Jim.
What do you kinda?
Damn it. Got myself up there.
So, Jim, the question now is, now that I have a fucking headache from laughing too hard and a fucking vein on my head.
You didn't smile that much
out.
when your damn kid was born.
Jim, here's the real question. What are you drinking tonight to help you through this episode?
So for some reason, I'm almost done this beer. It's weird how that happens, but I'm starting off from the Axe and Arrow Brewing Company out of Glassboro, New Jersey. They're Blender's Blackberry Oreo. It is a smoothie-style sour ale brewed with blackberries and Oreo cookies. So yes, Brian, yes, we're going back to the fucking candy that I always drink. This is the candiest of candy. Given me by a neighbor of mine, and oh god, it's delicious. It's so good. It's not going to help me not look like the guy from that game. That's for damn sure. But I mean, the aroma just hits you almost with that like creaminess that you would get from an Oreo, the inside of an Oreo cookie. But the taste, like very forward with the blackberry, but it eventually levels out to some of the chocolatey creaminess that you would get from an Oreo. So, I mean, you get the flavors that they're promising you, which you can't say about a lot of these kind of gimmicky beers. So, if you're in the mood for something sweet and a definite dessert sipper, this is one to go through. Or if you have a game about a big fat slob who can't walk and then you start pounding it. It's weird. Weird how that works. But it's also 5.7% alcohol, so about right for a sour. What about you, Bri?
I am drinking.
Stop sharing things in the God.
I am drinking the Great Lakes Christmas Ale. I'm clearly still trying to clean out my fridge. I have too many goddamn variety packs of beer. I haven't drank in it's been a while, like except for when I was over your place, and I can tell you're doing the same because you had just such a random mix of beers. So I'm just trying to get through it. Christmas Ale is delicious. It's 7.5%, and I'm feeling good. I don't know if it's the laughter. I don't know if it's being with my buddies. I don't know, but it's it's a good beer.
Good times had by all.
Oh, but Chambers, we mentioned last week. When did we record last week? Was it Thursday?
You're not asking me what I'm drinking?
You ain't drinking shit. You're drinking water. I know what you're doing.
Oh, no, I have actually a surprise for you this time.
All right, let's see.
Okay, so first, I have two things to say. First of all, when Celia was on the show, you didn't give her any crap about not drinking. So I don't want to hear the whole, like, oh, you don't drink. Like, you know what? I deserve no crap for that anymore. And second, just to spite both of you, I don't have water with me this time. I actually got something unique today that I saved specifically for this particular show. And that is a beautiful Mexico.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Respect.
I respect
Definitely
it.
respect.
I had a pack of those the other week. So yeah, I like it.
And they're
Not just
really
water.
freaking good.
You know what goes good in that? A little bit of Jack.
Probably.
Blade, you act like just like at too many games where we finally got you to drink something. Like that's not going to happen again. Like you just got to accept it. Celia has been on 7 times, and I do give her shit, but you have no excuse. 7 times. You need to drink with us.
I gave you a surprise today. This time I didn't even tell to both of you. I was prepping this the whole time. This time you're not giving me any shit. So I didn't go like, I have a bottle of water like every single time. Give me credit for being unique.
Yo, you gave me the greatest gift you could have already. So I'm already I'm just you've given me everything I need.
Oh my god, the shared folder in this freaking Zoom call is the most
just sorry to the audio people at home that you can't enjoy it. Brian will be putting it on the video version, I'm sure.
Less sigh.
But speaking of people and enjoying, so Jim and I think we recorded last Thursday as well. I got caught up, like I said, with work, kid shit. I am almost completely done the Max Payne review. I was going to rush to try and get it out by tomorrow, but Jim has his video, so that gives me a little bit extra time. So definitely by the time you're seeing this, the Max Payne video will either be out the next day or before, depending on what day I actually release this. But once again, we do that as the final wrap up of the requests from Patreon, which we thank you guys so much for the continued support. Make sure you're getting the questions in there. And Chambers, speaking of questions, what do we have this week?
Questions that you can get in over at patreon.com/drinkabeerandplaygame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. So first up from Burned Retinas, I enjoy the Nintendo Music app, and it had me thinking, if possible to avoid any spoiler sections for our best video game music, what platform or third-party studio would make a killer app with their music? Note, some companies may already do this. I kind of live under a rock.
Good question. Actually, really good question.
Company or I wouldn't want platform to me is too easy. Like Nintendo is so huge that it's its own thing. So if I'm going company, when I think classic, I got to go Capcom or Konami. One of them. Like either one, you could do both. Either one, flip a coin. But when I think of good music, they cover such a huge gamut. If we went franchises, Jim, obviously you and I think we've jerked off Streets of Rage enough that everyone knows we love that. But like Konami, Capcom, I don't know who I would choose between the two. I know obviously with my love of Resident Evil, I tend to lean towards Capcom, but Konami, I actually probably think pound for pound has better soundtracks overall. But yeah, those would be my picks. What about you guys?
I will jump in here. I'll go with WayForward. So they have done a really good job in the last 10, 15 years of, being their own kind of retro revival kind of company while also making newer games for older series, making remakes for old games, bringing older games to life that were only stuck on one console in one area or stuff like that. And the remix music, the original music they've made for a lot of these games, it's just been fantastic. So I forget who exactly they have working for them over there, but it's been great. Like almost everything I've played from them, whether the gameplay has been as good as I wanted it to be, the soundtracks are always awesome.
Jay Kaufman, probably, I think you're referring to. He's like their main composer.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
What about you, Blade?
There's a bunch that I can think of that you haven't mentioned yet. I mean, my mind automatically went to Cap Konami because I think they're like such a pillar to like the 16-bit gaming era. Way Forward, by the way, really good, like out of left field pick. I actually really respect that too. Um, I guess my runner will probably be like Square Enix,
Fuck
probably.
up. Shut your whore mouth.
With all the Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest music that they have, I mean, that would be like a treasure trove of like really like epic orchestras and like sweeping melodies that would be phenomenal for a service like that. But you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna go biased here and go Sega. Honestly, I think Sega just has such a wide catalog of like games, and I'm not just talking Sonic the Hedgehog, even though we can agree and disagree that the games aren't exactly like, the cream of the crop. The music in Sonic games, for like 95% of those games, is fantastic. But you also have stuff, like you said, Streets of Rage and Phantasy Star, Shinobi, Rise Star. There's a lot of choices with Sega, and I think they would also bring a lot to the musical table, as we say.
Yeah. No, no, for sure. And I think it's actually something I'm shocked more companies haven't adopted. But no, I love that question. Great one.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Next up from JD Mains. What is your favorite arcade beat 'em up? This is slightly different than which is the best because reflection and analysis side by side today may yield a different result. Rather, which beat 'em up game was the best experience at the time?
To me, it's without a doubt X-Men on the full, however many, like the crazy
Six-player?
shaped one. Yeah. When I think of beat 'em ups that like I couldn't wait to do, the sound of Colossus, that, and just all the powers.
Yeah, Magfest
like,
has never recovered. We know.
yeah. But as a kid, like I love plenty of others. I had way more fun on others, but that one to me, like that's the pinnacle of beat 'em ups in the arcade.
Yeah, I guess I gotta agree, only because I didn't get to the arcades a lot as a kid. Oh, Jimmy Wimmy was kept in the house a lot, so he didn't get out to the arcades too often. So when he did, he would enjoy some X-Men, because he liked the X-Men show growing up. I'm digging up any traumas here or anything. But yeah, I gotta go X-Men too.
Your voice was about to get so high, only like dogs were able to hear the frequency.
I don't need to go into details on things. It's fine. Everything's going great tonight.
I guess very similar to you, I never really grew up like in a country that had like a lot of arcades and stuff like that, so I don't really have that exposure to the arcades. So a lot of those popular arcade games I played at a much later time in my life. If I had to pick one that I probably enjoyed the most that was strictly like an arcade experience specifically, that really is tough. But I'm probably gonna go with Turtles in Time, I would say. Even though I do think the Super Nintendo version is probably the superior one, I did enjoy the arcade one just fine. So yeah, that'd probably be my pick, or the Simpsons arcade game, one of those two.
Yep, Simpsons was
classic
always
choices.
solid. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wraps up the Patreon questions for this week. Once again, want to thank everyone out there for all the support. Head on over to the Patreon. Check out all the different tiers, all the different bonus content, bonus podcasts, game review requests, movie review requests. New year, new me. We're going to get back to it. We're sorry. We're so sorry. New year, new me. But yes, we will get into that and all the other good shit. So once again, head on over there. Really support or appreciate all the support.
Derp.
Chambers, let's well, first let me confirm what Jim just said. Yes, thank you guys for support. Please continue to get your questions in. If you miss them, double down the following week. We don't mind. We always enjoy it. So it's one of the favorite parts of ours. Chambers, one thing I do not like, and I'm glad you put an article up addressing this, but GameStop is closing hundreds of stores as the CEO is getting a $35 billion payout. And right near us, the GameStop that I was going to, that's one of the ones that's closing.
The one by York?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wow. Okay. That's like the last one convenient to us. So
I don't know, like, other than in shitty malls, like, I truly don't know where the nearest one is for me now. So, it just sucks. And even when I go into the malls, it's really just a matter of, there's like nothing there but toys and like dumb shit. And
right, how are you multitasking, putting out pictures of this guy still? Well, in mid thought.
I feel so bad for those who are like not even seeing what he's posting, like, and we're just cracking up with no content.
All the more reason to head over to the YouTube version of this fine podcast for this episode. See these wonderful pictures and leave some comments and subscribe. Help the page out while you're watching my misery.
No,
And
but
make
this
sure
article
to give him hell
is,
and click the bell.
yeah, exactly. Thank you,
There we
Blade.
go. Anytime.
But here's the deal. It comes to us from IGN, and it's just fucked up because they're closing a shit ton of stores. And what it basically sums up is, what's this guy's name again? Ryan,
Asshole.
the CEO, Ryan Cohen, he's set to take home a $35 billion in performance-based stock options.
Oh, poor
After
guy. Only 35?
shutting down. Yeah. I mean,
Poor guy.
he's not making much. Like, you can't do much with that. But
Only 7 private jets. Poor guy.
So to add on to Brian's point, so that's 400 closed stores in 2026 alone.
Yes.
2026 we're talking about. Last year, the entire year of 2024, they closed almost 600 locations, which is a holy shit lot. And he's almost hit that number already. We're half a month in. Is it just going away? Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, I can relate to the York branch that was close to you, Brian, because I've had 2 different stores that were about, I want to say, maybe 20 miles from where I live. They were the closest to me, and they're closed pretty much like in a week times apart for one another. And to me, when I see news like that, I mean, we can like clown on GameStop for like ages, like, oh, they just sell like, Funko Pops or whatever, like video game paraphernalia they're, stocking right now, that they're not even focusing on like the game part of GameStop. But for me, I'm looking at like the bigger picture and I'm thinking to myself, how soon are we gonna go to the whole like old digital age where like physical media is not gonna be as prominent anymore, where you can't even go to a store and buy a game? And I know there's the argument, everything is digital now, just go to PSN or Steam and buy the game you want. Yes, but there's also like, Mama and her son Billy, who don't use PSN or Switch eShop, and they want to buy a game for their child. They don't know how to use it necessarily. So I mean, I just hope we're gonna have some alternative, maybe like, Best Buy or like some kind of like mom and pop shop that can carry games that maybe can fill that void. But that's 400 stores. That's a really big void nationwide. So I want to be optimistic, but it looks pretty grim in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, what do you call it? To follow up on your point, when I first started at my job, across the street were 2 GameStops I've told the story before, but there were two GameStops at two different strip malls across the street from each other. So the street I work at's like a township line, basically. So yeah, they were like checking off like, you know, their township GameStops, and they were right there. So they were literally like, oh, we don't have the game here, but just go across the street. It's over there. And one closed like, you know, 8 years ago, whatever. You don't need that many next to each other. But the
Right.
other one closed. It was part of the like December destruction. So yeah, I mean, that's gone. Now the one close to where we live is gone. Yeah, besides like the mall, like I can't think of any other ones that are probably gonna be around. Then it's probably just less rent and all that normal bull crap. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it like Blade said, it is looking grim. God only knows what the future is going to be for this brand. Thank God our brave CEOs of the world can still get their bonus checks by, you know, getting rid of countless jobs for their employees. So, you know, I'm sure all those savings is going, it's going to a good place. But at least they still have the time to get attention on Twitter. That's what's really important out there. Getting those Elon bucks, that is how you stay afloat. So earlier today, IGN released a photo of Sophie Turner revealed as Lara Croft in the new Prime Video Tomb Raider series. And that was as of earlier today, about 12 hours ago. So 9:30ish in the morning, whatever your time is. So GameStop decided to do a little quote tweet, and they just said, "This is not Lara Croft." And the comments already up to 1.6 million views after only about 4 hours of being posted. 10K, 10K likes, 1,500 comments already. So it has created quite the firebed. Some people going based, yes, correct. Others going, really, this is what you're reduced down to, blah, blah, blah. And the fighting back and forth. Oh, the fighting. So before I give my opinion on this, boys, what do you think when you see this?
I mean, Lara Croft is not a redhead. She's a redhead. Outside of that, I don't care. It really, that's what it boils down to is I don't care. I don't. How many different Tomb Raiders? There was the Angelina Jolie one. There was the one I forget how many
Alicia
years ago.
Vikander. That's her name.
Yeah,
the
like
second one.
yeah. So there's been a couple already. Like I don't know how this franchise is still hanging on. I know we just talked and covered the fact that they're doing yet another remake. They revealed at the Game Awards. Okay, it's another video game movie that will probably do about as well as Uncharted, and we all saw that, didn't we? No, nobody did. So, and that
Kinda
had
did.
friggin' that had Mark Wahlberg, Tom Holland, and whoever else
I
didn't
did.
do shit.
I mean, Brian, I think it's like sneakily made like $600 million.
Did it? But
I'm going to look it up right now.
It's like one of those things, though. But did anyone actually see it? Not counting you, Blade.
I mean, you know
Don't-
me though.
And anyone who matters. Did anyone who matters see it? That's the real question.
Wow. Whoa.
You brought in that goddamn baby steps. We're at work. All right, we're going out.
Hey, I like
But
the
yeah.
part of the movie when Tom Holland was walking in the beach and he was like, "I charted."
Don't you dare! Don't
Oh,
you?
penis.
So it made 407 million. That's what it did.
See, that's like baby numbers.
Don't
But
bring it up. Don't. No one
But
say the
yeah,
word baby ever again around me. No one ever say it.
Back to Lara Croft.
yeah, I don't care. I mean, Sophie was her Sophie Turner. She's a fine actress. I don't dislike her as an actress, but I don't care.
Blade, what do you think?
I never really watched Game of Thrones, so I don't really know much about her. My only exposure to her prior to that was those newer X-Men movies that she was Jean Grey, and she's fine in those. I mean, I don't think she was horrible in this, but she had horrible material to work with, so I don't blame her necessarily for the bad, movies that she was a part of. But looking at her, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm down with her look. I don't have anything like issue with it. I mean, why? People are upset like, she doesn't have like, G cups or something like. I don't know what people are really expecting, in terms of like how Lara Croft should look like. To me, if the story good and her performance is gonna be good, that's all I personally care about. So I mean, I would prefer a character not being like, one to one with their original like video game counterpart. And then, I actually want to have a good like story. I want to have a good show. And the first season of like Last of Us proved that you can actually have a good video game adaptation. Or Fallout right now is another good proof. So if it can reach like, that level, I wouldn't care how she looks like. Even though just looking at her picture, I think, yeah, they captured the look down and she can act. So I'm hyped for it. And I like the other. I didn't like so much like the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movie, but the second one with Alicia Vikander, with the one with Walton Goggins, who was also in Fallout, by the way, bringing back to
Hmm.
Fallout, he was the main villain. That was actually a fine enough movie. I actually enjoyed it okay. It was just, it's one of those like in one ear, out the other. Like it's a very forgettable action movie, but for what it was fine. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't mind another try at Tomb Raider. I hope it's good. I mean, we'll see. I mean, they
No,
have
but to
both Tomb
Jim's
Raider.
point, it's just fucking weird that like GameStop, you just you're taking a stance on this. Like I would expect a dumb response like that from a random user, not from
Yeah.
GameStop. They're just trying to stay relevant now that they got rid of all these fucking stores.
I was
So
about to say that's the weird part is they put that freaking retweet after the controversy. Like that's gonna,
yeah.
make people forget.
Now, here's the real worst part. They're not even taking a stand. They made it so nebulous of a statement that they could just tweet something tomorrow and be like, "What? This is what we meant. What were you guys all angry about?" It's it's just pure it's like vague attention getting just to rile up the Twitter masses for Elon bucks. So, mission accomplished there, but it's like it's not even taking a stand. It's like the perfect definition of bait right there. That's all it is.
Yeah, and it's like dangling meat in front of piranhas just to stay relevant somewhat in like the zeitgeist of social media. And I think even that's kind of desperate. So, bleh.
So you know what? If
It's
this
all
is what the brand of GameStop's reduced to, fucking just let it die. Then who cares? Guy got his payout. He doesn't have to care anymore. It's over.
Yep.
but Chambers, let's continue to roll with people that let's be honest, none of us care about. And situations that have gone on quite a bit too long. Um, we haven't talked in quite a bit about the whole Smash JT versus Alyssa Mercante, and we have a new update in an article that if you want to read about it, you fully can. But it's summarized by Mick Dizzle Gaming, and basically says, "Holy smokes, the judge is the Smash JT versus Les Mercante is not playing around. Monetary penalties." So he has a little snippet from the article. I'm putting it here on screen. What it's essentially saying, though, is that if the defendant is warned, if the continued failure to comply with the discovery obligations will result in the imposition of monetary sanctions pursuant to federal rule, yada, yada, yada. And what that means is apparently they've basically been asking for discovery. The thing that Smash is saying, like, oh, she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to do that. Well, I guess they do want to do that. And they've been
Oh, they want to
denying
do
it.
that. He doesn't want to do that.
Yes. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. And now he's going to get charged if they keep refusing or kind of avoiding doing that. So he's going to have to pay out either way, and he's going to have to pay out big. So
So,
when is
Brian,
the next campaign that he needs more money, Jim?
Well, I mean, he still didn't hit his goal for his last campaign. He's still a ways away from that. But a couple little details to add in here. So, the rulings here. So, like you said, the judge is basically like, all right, enough of this bullshit. Give us the stuff that they're asking for. Like, I want to see all this information. So it's, back end, like they want, like basically Smash just keeps dicking around with what they want. Like they're like, give us the back end info of your website. And apparently he gave them some of the back end, but not all of the back end that they needed to look at. And they're like, all right, let's see all your DMs and stuff like that to see if you're conspiring to, make hate videos with other people. So conveniently, as of the 13th, his Twitter got hacked. So he's saying, well, now he's just like, well, I can't give you anything because my Twitter got hacked. I can't get into it. But you can very easily just go to Twitter and request a complete history of anyone's DM and account information at any time. So if that was to play, that's not going to work. And basically, also, Alyssa apparently, in spite of this, hacking, which may or may not have happened, who's to say? Now, given that they were on a time crunch to get this information, the court's allowing her to subpoena other New York-based associates of him through email. So,
Oh, subpoena.
you know what? I'm not giving it to you, Blade. I'm not giving it to you. But yeah, so I mean, which is weird because normally you have to do this shit in person or through like, mail, but they're letting him do it through email, social media, any way you can get a hold of these people. Like Hypnotic's one of his big buddies on there and he's New York based, so they're going directly after him to get some information. So yeah, this judge is not screwing around and sounds like she's pretty much sick of his dilly-dallying, as one can say.
Jim,
So
would you say that him using the really awful picture of her might have flamed that, fire?
Right. It's kind of weird. It's almost like more of these stringent, hey, give us the information we want things came after that. It's the damn. I thought she would take it as a compliment. Who wouldn't want an AI image of themselves used in a thumbnail?
I mean, what
You
are we
tell
doing
me.
here?
I mean, it's something that everyone would love. But yeah, I mean, he also did crap where like he gave some information, but then later said, oh, wait, actually, no, that was wrong. And like, he's just, it's funny because like if you watch some videos, which I went down a little rabbit hole, like people are like, well, she's trying to get him in New York. He's not based in New York. She's trying to say, it's the internet, it's the world, so she can get him wherever. And his argument was like, well, I'm not in New York. You can't, like, it can get thrown out. But now he's dicking around so much, he's opening himself up to losing what could have been an easy layup of a court case too. So it's very interesting times this past week. The hammer's being dropped in a lot of different ways, it seems like.
What do you think, Blade?
I really don't really have much stake in this particular topic. I mean, I try to stay away with the Smash JT stuff. So
He's
all
so
I'm
lovely though. Why?
I mean, to be honest, my exposure with him was just like watching like the little bit he had like at the real Game Awards and just listening to the speech that he gave during that just gave me all that I needed to know about that man and just how much I don't really align with his like, style of viewpoint or his linguistic skills. So I just, refrain from him and I know they don't like that Alyssa girl. I think that in general, the whole like group of like Stutter and Craig, they don't like her as like a journalist or whatever. So, to me, it's just like people just trying to like toss rocks at each other and like miss all the time. And I don't really want to put like a foot in my mouth about something that I don't know. So I'm just gonna quietly like sit and nod and hope things end on the best way possible. They probably won't, but I'm optimistic. So.
Somebody or both of them are going to lose a whole lot of money. And in the end, you're either going to get way more stringency on YouTube, or now you're going to have someone be emboldened who probably doesn't need to be emboldened. So
Right.
it's a lose-lose either way.
I agree.
Yep. I agree. No matter what, it's one of those ones where nothing good's going to come from it, but god damn is it interesting.
All we can do is just take baby steps to get to the end.
It's a it's a train wreck that takes baby steps to reach to. Yeah. What have I done?
It don't matter. None of this matters.
What the fuck was that?
Some Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He had to be there.
God,
There's people out there from the early 2000s who will get that and appreciate it, Brian.
It's Smiley Friends.
Yeah,
20
Blondie.
years ago.
Blondie will get it. It's all right.
Don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare.
All right. So we are here with the meat of the episode, which we do every year with our good buddy Blade. Jim finds a good list, covers the best video games of the previous year. So this year we're doing Rolling Stone, which are always hit or miss, but they generally tend to get at least the most popular. The order doesn't always matter. But yeah, so Chambers, why don't you kick us off with the 25th best game of last year?
Number 25, Silent Hill F. This is a game that I didn't even hear about for the most part. I've very vaguely heard any talk about it, like, at all.
As the horror guy, I'm dying to play this. I've seen footage of it. It looks creepy. I purposely, other than watching gameplay footage, and it seems like the people playing it have been enjoying it, I have not watched anything reviewing it. I'm not interested in other people. Like, if it's a horror game, I'm gonna play it, especially Silent Hill. So I'm down. It looks creepy. It looks cool, and it's takes place in the 60s in Japan. So they're trying to change it up a little bit from the usual formula, it seems like. So I'm
Which it
down.
needs. They need it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
About you, Blade? You play it?
No, I want to eventually. I didn't even touch the Silent Hill 2 remake, which I also need to play as well. But
Same.
just to
Yeah,
kind
same.
of go very quickly, look at where Konami is now compared to like a decade ago for like how much this company has been ridiculed. I think we're in a Konami-sans in a way. Like they're basically sort of revived themselves between the two Silent Hill games and also not part of that list, but the Metal Gear 3 remake Delta came out too. So they've been doing surprisingly well like in the last few years. So good on Konami, which I never expected to say that.
And at least they've been doing something. And you know what? Even more credit to them. Like the Castlevania collections have been great.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the limited run releases because fuck those guys. But yeah, I mean the actual collections themselves are top notch quality. So you know what? We thought they were on Death Store for a while and they turned it around a little bit. So
yeah, I think the rumor is because Yu-Gi-Oh is failing so spectacularly. They're like, okay, we fell in the TCG space. Let's go back to video games.
Well, if you didn't make the whole goddamn game based around first turn kills, then yeah, maybe people would actually want to play the goddamn thing.
Like when there was more description on what the card does than the art of the card itself.
Dude, I played Yu-Gi-Oh for a long time, and I try to read the cards now, and it gives me a stroke. Like I just can't.
They call it the GY instead of graveyard because there's like not enough room for text, so they have to abbreviate. That's so stupid.
Yeah, we're far away from like Mimic Trap and stuff like that. But speaking of mimics, number 24,
Yes.
Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. So this is the remake of Final Fantasy Tactics, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the original PS1 one.
Yeah, I need to play this because I've always wanted to play Final Fantasy Tactics. I think I actually have it back there, and I never got around to playing it. Back when Goodwill still had games, but yeah, it's one I've always meant to play. I just never did.
Yeah, this is one I know zero about. I didn't even know about Final Fantasy Tactics, so not one I'll ever get to.
I haven't played it myself either, but like Jim, I really want to try it out. I heard a lot of great things about the original in general, but with the remake, I also heard they added like full voice acting, and there's some like big names in that one, like Ben Starr, which apparently Ben Starr is now everywhere. He's like the British, like Troy Baker or Nolan North. Like, oh, Ben Starr is in this now. I have to buy it because Ben Starr. So
Hello, puppet.
well, if you know him, he's also Clive in FF16. Was just in Expedition, so he's building a big resume for himself, and his voice is just also beautifully sultry. I mean, but the game is that's what I think when I hear Ben Starr's voice. That's exactly.
I do
Like,
have
you
to
could
cut that
just
to just the penis part one day. But next up, speaking of penises and cocks, soccer, number 23 with rematch. I don't know. I just wanted to call soccer stupid.
You
So
use balls instead of penis. I mean, it's right there in the.
I don't have
roster.
balls on the soundboard blade. I have to work with what I have to work with. All right.
Balls.
By the way, Jim just going there saying what he just said will be a soundboard.
Good. Fine.
Yeah.
Not the worst
yeah,
thing that's happened this episode.
But rematch. Yes.
Rematch. Here's the deal. It's a soccer game. I'm shocked. It must just play really, really well to make any list because I would have thought it's like who the fuck cares? But the only thing that gives me hope for is like how long now have we said every major sports of the big sports are covered by like the real sims? There's not enough like other simulated sports games, so maybe we see a revival of that. Like get back to our NBA jams, our Tecmo Bowls, like get back to something outside of the mainstream. So that's the only reason why I like it being on this list and being well received, because maybe it opens up the door. Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, I always think arcade sports games are always the better type of sports games anyway. So I'm down for it. And Blade, I mean, you like seafood, didn't you? Apparently it's the same people.
Yeah, I mean, usually I prefer, like, seafood is usually not my kind of cuisine I prefer to eat, but God, that was a terrible joke. Anyway,
Damn it,
at
Jim.
least I'm self-aware, okay? No,
Unlike
I
Jim
like
and his
Sifu.
music picks. Go ahead.
Don't.
No, Sifu was actually one of my favorite games in 2022, and when they decided to make a soccer game out of nowhere, I was like, huh. But on the other hand, kudos to them for actually doing something like out of their wheelhouse by changing genres altogether and making a soccer game. But despite growing up in a country where soccer was extremely prevalent, it's actually kind of made me want to play less soccer games because of that. I haven't really had the inkling to play Rematch, but maybe if it gets to like, like PlayStation Plus or whatever extra, whatever membership they have, and there's a free download, I'll give it a shot. I just don't really have much interest considering the fact that I'm gonna say this right now. We're only like number like what, 23? The
Yep.
2025 was stacked. There was a lot of good shit, so it's probably lower in my to play list, but it looks interesting at least. So good on them
Yeah.
for making a beloved soccer game. So
Yeah, agreed. And like you, I'll wait until it's free.
Yeah.
Number 22, Citizen Sleeper 2, Word Vector. I have no idea what the hell this is.
Yeah, I remember Citizen Sleeper 1. I was the tiniest bit interested in it. And then like most of these games, it just faded away. So I didn't even realize they made a second one of this. Um, good on them. I know the first game was really well received. Seems like that just continued with this, but it's one I probably unfortunately will never get to as well.
Yeah, it kind of gives me like vibes of like Disco Elysium and like those like cyberpunk Hideo Kojima like visual novel games like Police Nuts or Snatcher. I heard it's supposed to be like extremely well written, so the writing is supposed to be really good. But again, it's one of those games that's probably lower in my to play. I haven't played the first, so there's no reason for me to seek out the second just yet.
Yeah.
Yep, makes sense. Number 21, Split Fiction, made by the same people who made It Takes Two. And I heard a lot of good things, but for whatever reason right now, the idea of playing a full co-op, like platforming adventure is like the last thing I want to do. So nothing against the game, but I mean, I'm sure it's great, but I just have no interest in playing it.
Well, that's my question with these games, right? Like, do you think this audience, they are looking for gaming couples? Like this isn't for like me and you to do a couch co-op. Like I feel like though there's all these weird like kind of relationship centered games, and I don't know if these characters are in a relationship. I'm just saying like, is that the audience they're aiming for with these? Because to your point, co-op gaming it is really fun, but man, when you're like think of Army of Two. That is such a fun game, but you gotta sit down and be dedicated to do it. And if you can't do it over line, like I don't know. Even if you could do it over line, it just kind of sucks because lining up schedules, this and that. So I don't know. I'm just curious why these seem to keep coming out. Like there's one big one every year, and It Takes Two was one of them, and this one seems to be another just following that course.
I mean, they're apparently extremely well made and they get all their accolades. So they're probably great games. Like if we were in college, this would be probably a great game for us to play back in the college days. But, pushing 40 dads, it's definitely not going to be on the list anytime soon.
Jim, that would have gotten in the way of your God of War playing.
Oh, penis! I don't know why that even had to be necessary.
That's because he walked in on me beating off and I said I was playing God of War when I turned off the TV. All right, that was the goddamn story.
Beat it, beat it.
And that's today's Krusty Corner, folks. A nice little quick snapshot one.
There we go.
You all get a freebie. Next up at number, actually back to you, Blade. Yes, about
Yes.
the Split Fiction.
I want to say this. That's actually a really good like anecdote to bring up, like whether or not they make those games specifically for couples, because It Takes Two was specifically about a couple on the verge of breakup and they're learning to essentially work together to become better parents. Whereas the premise of Split Fiction, even though it's not really a romantic one, it's more so like two girls who have like different viewpoints of life learning to work together and like learn how to cooperate. But the point is that consider the fact that those games usually have a lot of unique gameplay scenarios and set pieces that change where you least expect it is really what makes those games fresh, despite the fact they're kind of like going back to the same mold again. So yes, it's another like co-op platform game, but Split Fiction does a lot of unique things that It Takes Two doesn't do. I think, I mean, I'm not going to spoil, but there's like one funny part at the beginning of the game where one person drives, a light cycle, like a Tron-esque, like light cycle, drives very fast. And the other person, in the meantime, is on their phone doing like a CAPTCHA thing, when like that's question, are you a bot or not? And you have to do all those puzzles while the other person is trying to avoid explosions on a bike in the meantime. So it's actually really funny, and I think you two will actually get a kick out of it. I think seeing you two playing those games, or even like playing something like A Way Out, which is a lot more like greedy, I would say, than like their later two games. Because
That was the Prison Break one, right?
That was the Prison Break one. You might actually like that game, maybe work your way towards your other ones, because if you want something a bit greedier, I think that's maybe something you might be into. But Joseph Ferris and his team, and Joseph Ferris is the fuck the Oscars guy from the Game Awards. That guy,
okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Like, fuck the Oscars, fuck you. That guy,
Yeah.
he is an insane guy, but I'm saying it in the most like positive, fondling way possible that I can say it. He's an insane guy, but the fact he's insanity can create a coherent like vision for a game is really what makes games like Split Fiction work. Honestly, especially if you want to revive your Twitch or whatever, yeah, you should try one of his games. I think you'll have a lot of fun playing them together. And I think the people in the comments would agree with me too. You guys want to see it, right?
If you people want to see it, leave those comments below. How about that?
Yep. And let's hear about how Jim needs to play Baby Steps.
Got a feeling.
God.
Next up, number 20, The Seance of Blake Manor. What the hell? Never heard of this. But it's a mystery game. Set in 1897, PC only. You only have 48 hours to crack the case. Explorable 3D world. I mean, I know nothing about it.
I know nothing about it, the style, and it's funny, Jim, how you became like hooked on roguelikes and some of the other styles that you started. Like, I'm just hooked on detective games. Like, Steam always like lets me know when there's detective ones, so like I can't get enough of those. That's kind of what this is. So when I was reading up on it, I'm like, cool. I would definitely check it out. The style is very comic booky. So it looks really interesting to me, but before we did this episode, I did not know about this one either.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I would say is kind of like my blank point. I actually don't really know much about it. I heard some people on Giant Bomb talk about it very fondly, but even then, it was like lower on their overall like top 10 or so. But I think, like Brian said, like it looks very stylistic, and if you like those like crime solving sort of game, like those puzzle games, I think you'll get a kick out of it. Though there was another game like that's going to show up later on the list that probably will fill that niche even better. But we'll get to it when we get to it.
All right. Speaking of niches, number 19, Despelote, the very stylized autobiographical walking simulator.
Despalote.
I was thinking it too. I can't even hate. I was thinking it too.
Yeah, we all did.
This is that annoying pick that I'm sure it tugs at the heartstrings, but you gotta include it every year. There's a version of a walking simulator that's story driven, and it does this. And it's very, very stylized. Like, it's I'll have the picture up, but if you haven't seen it, like, it's weird. Like, they have backgrounds, but then you're in a cartoonish black and white style. Like, it's very odd. There's nothing about this that appeals to me even a little bit. No way.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a lot of that one game, Venba, that came out a few years back about like an Indian family living in Canada and like trying to integrate, into like, the Canadian lifestyle. And I can appreciate when games give us like, different viewpoints of different cultures. It's just not, something I'm going to seek out to play immediately, but I respect the fact it exists.
Yeah, same. It's like when I played that Lila in the Shadows of War game. Like,
Yeah.
it was a cool experience and stuff like that, and it definitely tugged at the heartstrings and got its point across. But if I wasn't doing research for the page, I would have never seeked it out to play it. That kind of deal.
Apparently, this upload is about, I believe, Ecuador doing like the
World Cup,
like FIFA World Cup. Yeah. So again, it's not a time period, let alone a country that we usually see the viewpoint on. So kudos for them for making it. It's just, again, there's so many games that came out. There's so little time to play like everything. So someone has to be, in the bottom of the list, but not bottom because it's bad. They're just other priorities.
Yeah, and I talked to some people, ones who played it said they really liked it, so good on them.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
18, game we talked about earlier, Absalom. I'm definitely down to give this a go.
Yeah.
Beat 'em up by the people who did Streets of Rage 4 and in roguelite style. Like, yep, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
This one appeals to me very much. I like that company, so I would try this one out.
Yeah, I just love how crunchy the combat is. And I think a lot of the time when you play those like roguelite games, I mean, combat is usually very simple, like, one button attack. But I just loved stringing combos together, going to like aerial combos and using one character's like, hook hand to like grab a character up, do like an aerial combo in the air, and then ending with a giant special attack. It has both the spectacle and then the flash, in addition to the technical you know, how a beat 'em up is a good beat 'em up is built from. It's as technical and fun as like Streets of Rage 4 or even like Ninja Turtles from a few years back.
Yep. No, definitely agree. Number 17, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. So the only thing I really know about this is this past WrestleMania, TKO is very involved with Saudi Arabia now and stuff like that. Saudi Arabia owns SNK, so because of that, they were very much pushing it. They had the City of Wolves logo in the middle of the ring. They had a DJ who they put in this fighting game who's like big in Saudi Arabia, and he was there, but he was unannounced, and the whole crowd was like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" So it was very, very bizarre. But outside of that, I haven't paid a Fatal Fury or Garu City of Wolves in ages. So I'm sure it's a perfectly fine fighting game if the crew's still there that made those games. But gotta be honest, I don't give a shit about SNK fighters. So it's what I'm probably never going to touch.
Yeah, I feel that way about Capcom fighters in general, and that includes newer Street Fighters. This style does nothing for me, and it is a very specific style. There's something about it that I'm just like, nah, I don't like it. When Marvel versus Capcom 3 came out and they started going to that style, I was like, yeah, nah, I'm out on this. I bet it plays great, but you're not gonna get me. Nope. Won't do
I
it.
forgot Cristiano Ronaldo's in it too. So that makes sense.
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, I mean, as I guess the resident fighting game person in this particular chat, I haven't even had a chance to play it myself. It's just kind of been a weird year for like fighting games in general. I remember that even on the Game Awards, like when they were nominating like the best fighting games of the year, everything else was like either a collection or like early.
There are a lot
access
of
game,
collections. Yeah.
like 2KO, 2XKO, whatever, the League of Legends fighting game was nominated, even though it's not even like a version 1 yet. And with the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, which was actually really good. Just to get Power Stone in like modern platforms, that alone is very cool.
Yeah, but it's a collection though. So like,
I know, yeah, I'm not saying it should win. I actually did think that in terms of like an original fighting game, Fatal Fury absolutely deserved the win. It's just that there was just so much stuff coming out, and the worst thing about that game is that it came probably on the worst day possible a game could come out, where another game came out the exact same day that took the world by storm the whole year, and you know exactly which one I'm talking about.
what was it? Silk Song
No, but think of the other big game that came out,
Expedition. Oh, okay.
So it's like it was doomed from the start. But also want to give a quick shout out to fighting games, the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Just watching like the documentary stuff on how they made Mortal Kombat and that was just fun to watch. Wish the game emulation was better, but at least
I hear the games are a mess.
part. Yeah, and even like documentary, I was watching like the first part when they made Mortal Kombat 1, and also like the audio started like lose sync a little bit, and that was kind of weird. But I do hope they patch it and they, maybe add some more stuff to it in the future. I'm just glad, I mean, you mentioned yourself you don't like, the the Capcom fighting games, and Jimmy don't like the SNK ones. I think the three of us all love Mortal Kombat, so it's there's like a history-based Mortal Kombat collection we can all like enjoy at least.
Yeah.
No,
for
there.
sure.
And speaking of games with some history behind it, Ninja Gaiden 4 coming in number 16. You know what? I've never played any of these new Ninja Gaiden games. I hear they're great. I hear they're hard as shit, but I've never gotten around to them.
I'm right there with you. Their games, like, I like the idea. It sounds like they're all hard, and I seem to do pretty well at games when like everyone claims them that they're hard, and the combat looks like something that's up my alley. It's just like, oh man, the idea of like jumping into a new franchise, I'm always like, I gotta start with the first, and then I got it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what else is hard?
Oh, penis. Yeah, sometimes it can be flaccid, but yeah, I can agree with that. Sure, yeah, let's go with that.
What about you, Blade?
Uh, I'm hard too. Anyways, oh
Saw
god,
those baby steps
I
pictures
just
you
put
put
a
in there.
freaking new soundbite. No, what did I do? Derp! It's funny because I played a lot of those like character action games, as people like to call it, like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. But Ninja Gaiden was funny enough, not one I played a lot, and I think just like Brian, I'm not gonna jump to the fourth game if I haven't even played the first one. And I do actually think it maybe for my resolution games down the line, we talk about that. I may actually finally play the original Ninja Gaiden and get it out of my system so I can finally see why people really love that franchise. And of course, I would be remiss in not mentioning Tomonobu Itagaki, who recently passed away, and that was basically like his baby franchise, so RIP to him as well. But I would like to try those games, especially since now Team Ninja is mostly working on Neo, so cool that Platinum Games worked on Ninja Gaiden 4, so they got a good company who helped them out. But what a weird year, 2025, where we had no Ninja Gaiden for like more than a decade, maybe. And then we got three. We got a remake of Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja
Oh,
Gaiden
that's right.
Ragebound, which is like the 2D action game, and Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yeah, you're right. And then we also had the Shinobi game too. So big year for ninjas.
Yeah. Year of the Ninja, basically.
All right, number 15. Speaking of comebacks, Battlefield 6.
Yeah.
dude,
Wow.
everyone, the game looks great. Everyone, we know plenty of people who play it actively. I have always enjoyed every Battlefield, the newer ones that I've played. I haven't played them all, but they put out a good goddamn game. And I wanna try it out because it looks pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, no, I haven't touched it yet. It looks like it's awesome by all accounts. It's great. So yeah, I want to get to it. At least a little bit, just to try it out.
What about you, Blade?
So year two are the more like in the military shooter stuff. So it's not really my bread and butter, but I will admit that I think it's beautiful to have a Battlefield game that was actually great from the get-go. Because I remember
Yeah.
like, 3, 4, and 5. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when they released, they were pretty buggy, right? Like they had a lot of issues with like matchmaking.
They had issues for sure.
Yeah.
They had a real rough patch.
Yeah, so it's nice to see a Battlefield, especially the last one. What was it like? Was it 2042? What was the last one they made 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
I think that was right.
20 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one really like, for lack of a better term, shit the bed hard. And now we're reaching this point where like Battlefield is doing extremely well, and Call of Duty not so much right now. Which like, who would have guessed that this is gonna happen? So yeah, good on Battlefield. I mean, do I want to try right away? No, but I'm just glad to see like a Cinderella story coming out of that franchise for all the crap that it went through. Good for them to like bounce back from everything. So
Yeah.
No, definitely. Number 14, just actually mentioned it. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. So, funny enough, I have this like sitting next to me in my pile of games I have to
Ooh.
get around to play. And weirdly, like, it's weird because like I played the demo and I didn't love the demo, but by the end of it, I was liking it more. So I had the feeling this is going to be one of those ones that like the more you unlock abilities and stuff like that, the more fun it's going to be. That's kind of what I'm banking on, or I wasted money like I always do. But yeah, no, it's one I do want to get around to. I've always kind of had a love-hate relationship with the Shinobi games, but yeah, when I like them a lot, and when I hate them, I really hate them. So we'll see.
okay, Brian, why are you nodding in disagreement there?
No, I know Jim wasted his money. It's like he will just buy a game. As he just said, he played the demo, wasn't really sold, and thought, I need to buy it to prove myself wrong. Like he
Fair.
just needed the game to have the game. No, Shinobi's I've always enjoyed. Like like we just said with like Ninja Gaiden, most Ninja games are good. Like you're not going to be super disappointed. They're probably going to be hard and test your patience, and that's probably why Jim doesn't like a lot of Shinobi games because he's not good at them. But
I'm not good at many
as-
games that I enjoy. I'll have you know.
Again, fair.
but I think that game I saw the previews for it. It looks awesome. So I'm excited to play that, and I'll probably get to it this year for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those games I want to play too. My main experience that I've had with it actually is that when I was in LA about 7 months ago, and I was going to like an IGN event that they had like downtown, and they actually had multiple game stations. One of them was that Shinobi game, Art of Vengeance, and I played the first like level of it, and it basically kind of reminds me a lot of like, kind of more of that Strider game that came out like a decade ago, if you know which one I'm talking
Oh yeah, I know
about.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of takes like kind of a Metroidvania approach to having like, like a big sprawling level, but I do think it controls a lot better than that game. And also the art is fantastic because we talk about Lizard Cube, and they did the art for like Streets of Rage 4 and that Wonder Boy and Dragon's Trap remake, if you remember
Yep.
that one. So
Yep.
it's kind of funny like how the Streets of Rage 4 team like split into two. One half worked on Absalom and the other half worked on like Shinobi, and we got two great games out of it at least. So yeah, I definitely want to play it too. But again, just a lot of stuff. But it's definitely one of those games I want to play before I make the video because I grew up with Revenge of Shinobi. Even though that game is pretty rough, I then played Shinobi 3 not too long ago, and I think that game is fantastic. One of the best games on the Sega Genesis. So
Yep.
I definitely want to give Shinobi a shot. Great ninja year. Great year for ninjas.
Too true.
Oh, yeah.
But is it a great year for gamers with games going to $80? And a big reason for that is the next entry at number 13, Mario Kart World.
I mentioned I got the Switch 2 with Mario Kart World for the family. I'm enjoy playing it with the kids. There's nothing special about it. If you've played Mario Kart 8, you've played World minus the ability to just open world traverse the map.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's still Mario Kart, but considering this is the new system big upgrade, and considering the last original one was the Wii U, it doesn't feel like they moved that goalpost much. So I do enjoy it. Not worth $80 at all. Yeah, nothing more for me to say about it.
Yeah, I spent the half hour with it when Nick was over. I went, yeah, it's a Mario Kart. I actually thought it was weird how they kind of dumbed down the control a little bit. Like when you pick up an item, it automatically just like kind of sits behind you. Am I remembering this right? Blade, someone
No,
confirm?
you're right. Because in 8, let's say if you get a shell,
You had to, like,
have the
click and hold
ability
the button
like
to keep
hold
it
the
behind
button,
you.
and
Yeah.
then you just use it like as a shield or something. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So like I was doing that. I was like, wait, why'd they change that? Like seems so unnecessary. But yeah, and like, I guess the little jumping, boosting mechanic thing's cool. But yeah. And I just went, it's another Mario Kart. It's nothing I'm gonna be running out to buy whenever I get a Switch 2. I mean, a Mario Kart's a game you need to have with any Nintendo collection you have because it's Mario Kart, great party game, and it's always gonna be fun. But yeah, it's another Mario Kart.
You're fun.
I am. Thank you, Blade. Thank you so much.
You too, Brian. You're pretty fun as well.
No, fuck that guy.
I
Wait,
mean, that's what a
what's
lot of people want to say. But anywho,
Don't make his head bigger than it already is.
yeah, it won't be
That's
able
what she
to like
said.
get a.
Fine.
Okay, that was actually pretty good.
Oh,
I'll give you that one.
penis!
Yeah,
Fine.
Yeah, that was good.
Daddy got him again.
So here's my argument about the Mario Kart $80 thing. I think that they jumped the gun of charging that much money for it because I don't think it has the amount of content that like Mario Kart Deluxe had at the end of his like, life cycle. When you have,
Yeah.
96 tracks, which Deluxe 8 Deluxe has. I mean, yeah, then you could say, oh, maybe it's worth like $70 or whatever for like a regular Switch game. But when you launch a new
pushing it.
system, I mean, that's pushing. I'm not saying that should be the thing. I mean, if I would want every game to be a lot cheaper than that, but I digress. My point is that Mario Kart World at launch is not worth the $80. We don't really have that much content right now in the game to warrant that. Maybe if they add like another world and extra tracks and more stuff to do, then sure, I can probably, entertain the idea, but I don't think right now it's justifying it. That being said, I did really enjoy Mario Kart World. I like the track slot. I think the track design is spectacular. I do like the wall riding mechanic and the rail grinding, when you can basically take different shortcuts and grind on rails and bypass other razor. I think that's incredibly fun. I think Knockout Tour, I'm not sure if you two try Knockout Tour, but that's actually been the one thing I played the most. It's basically like, an elimination style race.
It's like Gauntlet. Like, you just got to keep going. It's an endurance. Yeah.
Yeah, and then each time 4 different races, like the last 4 get eliminated and only the last 4 survive, and then whoever wins. I like that a lot. My only real problem with Mario Kart World is the open world mechanic of it, which they give you missions to do in the open world, and I think for someone like single player content in their racing games or fighting games, I love doing stuff like that. But you know what you get for completing these?
Nothing.
Stickers.
Yeah. It's nothing.
Yeah, derp indeed. Who gives? I don't care about having like a little decal on my card and no one's going to see anyway.
Yeah.
Why is that an award when you can actually have unlockable characters, but instead, or costumes for your characters, that you basically have to do this weird gacha mechanic in which a character behind you, like a racer behind you, has to have the Kamek thing, the wizard guy, turn you into that character to transform to unlock them. So if you want to be like, the blue Cataquack, like the little duck guy from Mario Sunshine, if you want to unlock that, you need the racer behind you to get the Kamek item, and then hope that the RNG works in your favor so you can turn to Cataquack, and only then you can unlock them. And I think that's stupid because it could have easily been a reward in the open world. It's a game that I love, but it's so frustrating with some of those dumb decisions that they made. But I still think it's my favorite racer of 2025 because I also played Sonic Racing Crossworld, and this is coming from me, and you know how much big of a Sonic fan I am. I didn't like Crossworld that much.
Interesting, because I heard some people liked it more, but regardless, moving on from a game that was totally not worth the money to a game that, come on, there's no way it's not worth it. Hollow Knight Silk Song, something we already touched on. With as much as I'm loving Hollow Knight right now,
complete opposite.
This is better in every way, and this came out for like what, $30? Like
20.
This is 20. Jesus Christ! Like, so this is a must buy. Like, just fucking do Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
I'm buying it as soon as I'm done Link to the Past. I'm jumping into that. So
yeah, and just to reiterate what I said earlier, I'm not into the hype of Hollow Knight. I wasn't there, waiting 8 years for the sequel. I wasn't like making all the clown memes every time there was a direct or a presentation when Hollow Knight date wasn't announced. I didn't care, and I beat Hollow Knight 1. I thought it was a fine enough game, but I'm literally playing through Silk Song, and I'm thinking to myself, I actually want to get back to it and play it more. Like, this game is incredibly fun, so if it comes from me, who's someone who wasn't a big fan of the original Hollow Knight, and you two I know love the original Hollow Knight, then I think you're in for something truly spectacular.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now I'm almost tempted to jump right into it after I finish Hollow Knight, but I got other shit to play too.
Maybe it's as good as Metroid Prime 1.
Son of a bitch. But speaking of sons of bitches, I have to call it Rolling Stone real quick. This is their God, I don't even want to say it this way, but there's no other way to say it. This is their fucking woke pick-me goddamn pick right here. South of Midnight. This is a game that no one cared about when it came out. It had its little controversy around it with the anti-woke grifting sphere and all that crap because of the game, what it's centered around, but it seriously came out. I forgot it even came out. No one gave a shit about it at the end of the day. Why is this number 11? Why is this above Hollow Knight?
I don't disagree with you that maybe that's why. But I didn't realize all the controversy around this game. To me, it
you got a black woman as the lead. There's controversy. They just
no! How dare
No, but I'm saying, like, given the subject of it, it's like it's set in the South and it's based around myths of the South, right? Like, so
New Orleans,
kind of to me that makes sense for your. It's not like other games where you're like, oh, let's set a thing in feudal Japan and make the main character someone that we know is going to piss everyone off. Like, this is actually more appropriate. So that's why I'm saying I didn't realize there was a controversy behind it. But I didn't hear nothing about it. But what I will say is when I looked into it, this is honestly a type of game I probably would be into.
Yeah.
Because I like the third party. Anything that's very mythological or myth heavy, I'd be into. So I would try it out. I don't know if it's any good, but yeah, we'll see.
Have you seen like the animation for it? Like it's very like
It looks pretty good. That's what I'm saying.
Stop motion. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever like enjoy the animation of like the Spider-Verse movies, I mean, it really evokes that. And I was just like amazed to see that. And I also heard like the soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. One of the best soundtracks of the year. Of course, it wasn't nominated, but you know, what can you do?
Yeah.
I think my favorite part about that game is when it won, I believe, the Games for Impact Award at the Game Awards, and they announced that it's coming for both PS5 and Switch. I was like, thank God it's out of the Xbox prison and I can actually play it now.
Now more than 3 people can play it.
Yeah, and I can also bring up the fact like 2025 was kind of the year where the Xbox brand kind of died as like a first party, like, you know.
You could have stopped
institution.
it, died.
Yeah, fair. I part of Brian's soul just broke as I was saying that.
But you know what? It might be a cool game. Maybe I'll give it a shot. I have Xbox Live and shit like that. So, but yeah, I mean, to me, it just like seems surprising by how little fanfare it had that they put it so high.
Yeah, same, especially over Hollow Knight too. But it's been kind of a weird year for Microsoft in general. There's a bunch of other first games they released. Avowed is another good example of a game that I also want to try. That also just announced a version for the PS5 I want to try out.
Didn't that bomb though? Like not even just because it was on Xbox, but because it wasn't like that good.
It did, but now I'm hearing more and more people say like, you know, it's like an underrated jam. It's very similar to like first person, like, you know, Skyrim or Oblivion with its combat system, like a first person combat, and that's apparently why people like it so much. So I do want to try it out. It makes me curious about it. They also published this year Ninja Gaiden 4, as we mentioned earlier. Outer Worlds 2 is another game I want to play. I like the original Outer Worlds. It's basically Fallout in space. I know you two love Fallout, so you probably get a kick out of it. You never played the original Outer Worlds, right?
Never did.
Yeah. One of you, actually not one, both of you should try it out. I think you'd really like Outer Worlds. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how Microsoft became like kind of more of a third-party company, and now more and more of their games are kind of come for other system. No Starfield yet for PS5. What will I do?
That's still not on PS5?
Nope.
Wow, that's wild.
Now ask me if I care.
It looks like you care. I can see
What's
it on
the
your
next
face.
number on the list?
The number is number 10, and that is Arc Raiders. So this is a game that, I mean, I don't know. To me, it kind of seemed like it came out of nowhere and just became like the new big extraction shooter of the year after, you know, all the popularity that Helldivers 2 had. The tiny bit of controversy around it because it has AI for some of the generative shit in the background. I don't really care that much about it, but yeah, I mean, from what I hear, it's a very fun waste of time. That's the best way I can probably put it.
Yeah, dude, it took the gaming sphere by storm. The amount of people I see playing it, continuing to play it. That's another one, though. There's nothing about it that looks like it appeals to me. Doesn't mean I don't think it would be fun. It's just like the look of it, nothing about it. I'm like, yeah, I want to try that out. But I bet it is fun because
the social aspect of looting, or you can be betrayed by people and they take all your shit. Like, yeah, it sounds kind of cool. Sure. Yeah. Why not? Our buddies at the Fun Time Boys seem to really like it. So, yeah, good on. I mean, the numbers don't lie. So it's a big hit.
Yeah. I mean, last year was Helldivers 2. This year it's this. I mean, good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
that's a new genre. Maybe that's the thing that's going to compete against Battle Royale style games.
Yeah, because, you know, like Sony invested all that money in those like big, you know, live service games. And I mean, like with the failures like Concord and...
I have my copy over there.
Damn it, Jim.
See?
Why are you
there you go. Fucking waste of money.
The lion,
I'm a historian. That's why.
And
you're
then
welcome.
Bites your arm. No, bad Jim. No. Go play Baby Steps.
I'm sure someone will make me do it. But speaking of games I do want to play, though, especially after your description, number 9, Ball Pit. Yeah, I mean, this sounds right up my alley, actually, with everything you were talking about.
Yeah. It's the kind of game, you know, that you can just kind of like chill while you're listening to like a cool podcast in the background. Like, say, I don't know, the Power Hour podcast, you know, one of the best podcasts out there. By the way, I'm going to put my PayPal in the like, you know, in the DMs to you guys. If you want to, you know, wire me the money.
What?
Damn it, Jim.
No, but it's a fun game. It's like a nice, like time killer game. It's kind of like, Balatro, and in that sense, like something to play, while you're doing some other stuff in the background.
If they put this on mobile, my life is over. All right. I just finally kicked my Balatro like addiction after a year and a half. So
It's funny because I mean, you remember last year when I was in your podcast?
don't you fucking
so much
thumbs down
about
Balatro, Brian, little piece of shit.
No, but like it's kind of like I said earlier, is that sometimes you just don't get into a game. And I remember I got into a small tiff with Brian about Balatro, and I'm like, Brian's not gonna get into Balatro, whatever. I enjoy Balatro, Jim enjoys Balatro, whatever. Let's have fun. So
Yeah. Listen, hey, that game, I could see why it appeals to people, but it's the same as like people who like truly like solitaire is their thing. Like certain things, like it's their thing. That game to me is basic as shit. It just didn't do anything for me. I'll be honest. That's how I kind of feel about looking at. I was watching gameplay of this. I don't doubt what you're saying. It's a fun game, but I can tell you right now, for some reason, it doesn't seem like it's something that would appeal to me.
Did you play Vampire Survivor at all?
Yeah, and I love the shit out of that game. And I beat it multiple times. I don't know. There's something I can't. It's like sometimes you just see a game, you go, maybe I wouldn't like it. I could try it, end up loving it, but yeah.
I would say if you like Vampire Survivor, give it a chance because it has that same mechanic, when you grab two weapons,
get the different powers and
use
you
them
put
together. Yeah, exactly. So if you like that mechanic, I think you'll definitely vibe with Ball Pit or Ball X. Is the X silent? I hate when people make those titles and I cannot tell half the time.
I know, for real.
A wonderful English language. But speaking of games that you're either probably going to love or hate, Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I never played the first Death Stranding. It's one I hear you have to like play a shitload before it gets good when you really open up the world with your traversal mechanics and all that crap. And it's a Kojima game, so of course it's going to have a fuckload of story that's going to make no sense. So yeah, I mean, I'm not rushing out to play it, but everyone seems to love them, so I'm probably wrong on this. There's nothing new there. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I like most Kojima shit, but I have even Death Stranding 1. Haven't played it yet. Not rushing out to try it. Not something about it doesn't appeal to me. Maybe I end up playing in the future. I'm like, oh shit, it is good, but yeah, it's just not for me.
With me regarding Death Stranding, I only played the first like couple of hours of it, then I kind of fell off, and since then they released the director's cut and I haven't touched that yet. So again, it's like the same thing with Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm not going to play the sequel until I finish the original and see what the heck is going on, especially with a Kojima game with all of the barrage of like, exposition and story and lore. I want to make sure I understand like maybe like 10% of it at the end of it, knowing Kojima's like, Kojima-isms. But as far as I know, it's divisive because some people think it became a little bit too much like Metal Gear. Like there's too much like combat and like too much, easy ways to traverse the environment. But also that's the reason why some people think it's actually more accessible. So I don't know until I play it. I want to make my own actual like impressions of it instead of just like uttering what other people say. But I think the consensus is that it's a well beloved game, and it's probably rightful for its spot on the list. I mean, we can always make the argument why is Silk Song underneath it or whatever, but in the whole zeitgeist of the list, sure, 7 is fine, I guess. But again, haven't played it.
Well, actually, it was number 8 because number 7 is a game that blends visual novel storytelling with tactical role-playing combat, social simulation elements, and deadly board game mechanics. So you know what this means? I'm never going to touch this shit. The Haunted Line, Last Defense Academy. What the fuck is this? What are we doing here? Why is Silk Song at 12? What
100 line, you goddamn illiterate son of a bitch. It's not Haunted, it's 100. God
it is.
Damn it.
I just read what I wanted to read. Well, all right. Well, yeah, you know what? Derp! There we go.
Yeah. I can't believe this has been more overused than the penis one.
Yep. That was on me. That was on me.
The style, all the goddamn genre mixing that they have, like you probably couldn't pay me to play this game. Like, there's not one thing about this I go, oh yeah,
that's good for $5 a month over at patreon.com/drinkabbeerplayagame. Just put it out there to people.
Jim, this would be one I'd make you be the one to finish it.
Nope, all you, because I'm gonna be stuck with that goddamn baby steps, I'm sure.
Oh, you're gonna play baby steps, don't you fucking worry.
She's fucking there. Wait, do you have anything to say on this thing that no one cares about, or?
I'll just make it quick. I think it's by the people who did Danganronpa. It looks like a very Danganronpa-esque like art style. You've heard of Danganronpa at all?
Yeah, the game with the bear. Yeah.
Yeah, the game with the bear. Yeah, it looks like the same art style. This is one of those things that sure it could be on the list. I'm surprised it's as high as it is because again, I heard very few people talk about it. So the fact it's this high, I'm like, okay. I heard it has some like very like staunch defenders of it. Like they really like preaches like greatness, but I know very little about it. So if it's great, great. There are other things I would rather play.
Yep, fair enough. Speaking of things that might be great, and didn't hear anyone say anything about it at all. Number 6, Blueprints. Here we go. Each year, like clockwork, there's that one indie game that hits and causes an uproar. Did it though? I mean, I think I did. It actually, no. That to be fair, I did hear about this now that I'm thinking of it, but it also was a kind of
this article. By the way, the next line. Sometimes it's hyperbole, but other times you end up with a decade definer like Balatro. Get the fuck out of here, decade definer, my dick. Fuck out of here.
One decade definer is fine, but to say that about Blueprints,
definer, I will give you a year. You're not getting a decade out of that fucking useless fucking cell phone game.
If you want to include indies, sure. I'm not saying maybe overall, but in terms of like decade defining indies, yeah, I would put Balatro there.
Fuck that.
No, yeah. I do remember around summertime getting back to this game. I do remember before Brian keeps being wrong about Balatro. I mean, I do remember that, there was hype around this around summertime. It was one of those ones that kind of came and went. I had no idea what it was, but it's a first person puzzle game. So sure, whatever. I probably should be on the list. I have no idea what the placement should be. So Silk Song should be higher.
Yes, I agree with that.
What was it, Brian?
I was saying that this, it sounds like it says it's a 45 room estate search. So it's like a puzzle game or some shit.
Okay.
I don't know much else about this game. Like Jim, I didn't even hear it. I feel like it came and went super fast. So I don't know.
Okay. Do you remember earlier we were talking about Blake Manor, and I kind of mentioned earlier there's another game in this list that evokes that like detective thing even better? That's the one I was talking about.
That's the one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the one, actually, Brian, that I would recommend if you like detective stuff and puzzles. That's the game you probably want to play. The idea of Blueprints, and I want to see how long it takes you to actually realize that the whole title is a freaking pun. But the whole idea of the game is that you are a heir to this mansion, and you have essentially to use...
I get it!
You have to essentially use blueprints... to basically build the different rooms in the estate, in the mansion, in order to find the secret 46th room. And because it's a roguelike game, every time the rooms are different. So you have to basically make sure the rooms connect to one another. In order to basically open more rooms, you have to find more keys or gems. And there are also different puzzles within each room. For example, one of the earliest puzzles in the game is that there are 3 chests. And one of them always says the truth, and one of them is always lying to you. And if you find the right box, based on the clues on top of the boxes, you basically can unlock additional gems to open more rooms. Gotcha. And essentially, you unlock the secret of the mansion. There's a lot of secrets involved. So if you mentioned earlier with the Blake Man, that game interests you, I think you would love something like Blueprints if you do like, the whole like puzzle solving, and even if you're a little bit inclined to try something roguelite. It's not my kind of game.
No, I like roguelikes. I want to be clear. I do actually like good ones.
And it's been a really good year.
I know what you're getting at there, you piece of shit.
I just said I like good ones. What?
I know what you're getting at there.
Guy can't say.
I saw those eyes. Your dirty horror eyes.
What's a bad one then? Like, what do you consider like a bad one that Jim likes?
There's a couple.
He's bashing Balatro again.
I mean. But 22.
Don't you take his horse side.
I'm not. I love Balatro. I'm not going to change his mind at this point. It's like talking to a wall, so I'm not going to even like waste my arrow on that argument at this point. So, my point is that 2025 has been a really good year for roguelikes, whatever you want to call them at this point.
Yeah.
And I do think if you like, puzzle games and also like using your noggin, more than usual, Look into blueprints, and I think that as of now, I think it's still get it like part of the PlayStation Plus program if you have that available. It's worth a shot. I would definitely recommend it. It's not one of my favorite games because I do think sometimes like the pacing is a bit slow, and I don't like the luck-based mechanics of like the roguelites. Like, oh, you get 3 rooms, all of them are dead ends, and you cannot progress. That sucks. Like, I don't really like that. Being soft locked of a run, it kind of annoys me personally. But it's been given flowers everywhere else. One of like many people's favorite game of the year. So
To your point, Blade, I'm someone I like using my head, so I think it. Yeah,
using head.
I like using my head. What can I say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would try it out. That's the end of that.
Don't you try to get sounds out of me, you son of a bitch. But yeah, no, I mean, I gotta say,
you'll get something else.
Just I like using my head.
That was bait. So what do you call it? No, I mean, that does sound interesting. I'm still probably not going to play it, but it does sound a lot more interesting than I was giving it credit for. So
yeah, as long as my explanation gave it like more credit than you originally looked into it, then I'll take it as a compliment as is. So.
Yeah, no, it does sound very interesting. Like it does sound kind of cool. All right, next up, number 5, the game I only know because of all the fucking grifter outrage about the bullshit, Ghost of Yotei.
Oh God!
I never played Ghost of Tsushima, so I can't say one way or another about the gameplay. You loved Ghost of Tsushima, didn't you? Played?
That was my number 1 game for 2020. Yeah, that was my favorite game of that year, and I still haven't played Yotei either, just because other stuff. But I want to play it too. But oh no, there's a female protagonist. 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's a broad and she's not hot, so rage and whatever.
Yeah, that's why there's this new trend of like, trying to make female characters better, just giving like, giant gazongas. And now the game is better all of a sudden.
It helps.
I mean, you're not helping that case. I mean, better is better.
Yeah, but it looks like, like a silicon factory as opposed to actual like natural ones. That's my argument to that.
I'm not playing games for realism. I'm trying to escape reality. Reality sucks.
You don't want to look at rocks. That's what I'm trying to say.
Blade, do you want to make Jim?
I grew up in the 90s, sir. I grew up on rocks, I will have you know.
Grew?
Yeah, in one way.
Yeah.
Blade,
around the middle part I did.
Do you want all of our games to be like baby steps where they take real life people and put them into games?
What? If we go for the realism, I guess, sure.
Hate, pain, and rage. That's all I have left.
No, it's just funny to me that how people complain about female protagonists, and I think the majority of the games that came out in 2025 had female protagonists. Like Hollow Knight, Hades 2, Ghost of Yotei. I mean, there's so many examples.
I mean, there's so many. Let's put it this way. Every single year, there's plenty of games.
Metroid Prime 4, yeah.
Metroid Prime, thank you.
The days of games without is gone. There's plenty, so it's like it's just a thing now. But
yeah,
I do want to play that eventually, but I'd have to start with Tsushima. So
yeah, I will say about Tsushima very quickly is that it's probably the best Assassin's Creed game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah,
good way to put it.
Yeah, if that's not a glowing endorsement, what is? But I do want to play Yotei. I mean, I heard from a lot of people that everything gameplay wise is better, but like the story is not as good because. Just in general, Atsu, the protagonist, is just not as compelling as Jin Sakai from the original game. And I love Jin Sakai. I think he's like a really compelling character and absolute badass of like, like half ninja, half samurai dude. But I want to play it eventually too. Out of all the quote unquote like AAA games that I haven't gotten to in 2025, that's the one I really want to like, sink my teeth into. And as someone who really loved Tsushima, I really want to get to Yotei. But again,
are you saying you don't want to get to number 4, Dispatch, which is a game I didn't hear of, and it's fucking apparently an episodic game?
Yeah, I mean, you like the Telltale games, so this would probably be up your alley a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I did, and then Telltale like opened the door for that, and I felt like closed the door for that. It was like Lego. It was like us when we first started the Lego games.
Oh my God.
You start playing them and you're like, man, these are awesome. There's so much. And then you play the next 5 and you're like, okay, I think I get it. I'm over it now. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like this is one like I'm probably not going to get around to playing because I never even really cared enough to play the Telltale games. But everyone I talked to who played Dispatch seemed to really like it. I just don't care to play a Telltale style game. So, I mean, maybe it would change my mind if I gave it a shot, but I have enough other shit to play behind me and next to me and everywhere. I'm just going to play StarCraft. I'm just going to, who am I fucking kidding? It's just going to be StarCraft.
You'll just start playing Concord and be like, I see quality here.
I would if I could.
Son of a bitch.
The best PlayStation coaster of all time.
Goddamn right. Historian right here, baby.
Exactly. It's great for your drink.
I mean, he's not wrong. But all right, Blade, what do you think? Dispatch, do anything for you?
Okay.
Make you drippy into nethers?
Very much so, if I'm being 100% honest, actually. But to your point, if you like the Telltale games, Dispatch is the best Telltale game ever, essentially. I think it's by far the best. It has the best writing, the best pacing, and get this, the gameplay portion of Dispatch is actually fun to play. Because I would argue the Telltale games, like when you actually get to control your character and walk around in those very small areas, it's just kind of boring and it kills the pacing because there's very little puzzle solving to it. But I genuinely like the gameplay portions of Dispatch where basically you're this dude, like a former superhero, who basically has to work as a dispatcher for superheroes, and different alert beacons come out and you have to basically assign the right hero to the right job. So for example, if there's a cat stuck in a tree and he has to give the cat to a little girl, maybe the giant mud monster is probably not the best superhero to help out with that particular situation. So you have to be considerate of their stats and stuff like that. But my gosh, is the writing and the comedy in this game unbelievably top notch. I binged that game in a single day, all 8 episodes of it, and I absolutely loved it. I think it's one of the best written games of the year, and it has really phenomenal the voice talent of the game is insane because you have Hollywood talent like Aaron Paul as the main character and Jeffrey Wright, which both are great actors. But then you check the other end of the spectrum and you get freaking the Moist Critical dude as the bat guy, Sonar, yeah baby, that's what we're talking about, that guy.
Yeah, I don't need to hear Moist Critical anywhere, but that's fine.
Yeah, but Jacksepticeye, for example, you don't expect them to give a performance of that caliber of Aaron Paul, but they managed to do really well. And I think it's because you have all those different actors from different different realms of the medium that it really makes the characters more authentic in that way. If you really have to play one of those Telltale games, trust me on this one, Dispatch is one of the best games of the year. It's actually going to be in my top 5 for 2025. I'll tell you right now. It's absolutely fantastic. And this is coming from someone who usually prefers gameplay over the narrative, because I usually like to have more arcade action and do stuff and not just watch content. But in a year when the MCU kind of sucks, and I don't care so much about all those superhero movies, this was the best superhero content I've consumed in 2025. In the same caliber of X-Men 97 or Invincible.
All right, now you have my attention with that.
Yeah.
So
no,
okay,
definitely put it in your list. Brian, especially if you like Telltale, definitely keep it on your radar. I'm not saying buy it right away, but just look into it is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, he likes Telltale, he likes Cape Ship, so might be up his alley. Now, number 3, the game that most people are saying finally made their switch to worth it, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I'll get it eventually, just to check it out. From the gameplay, it looks cool, but and I know I have no reason to wait for it to go down in price because Nintendo never lowers their price.
Because it never will. Yes.
So that's why part of me wants to just find somebody who has it and try it out before I waste a full $70 or whatever it is.
Jim, do it for Brian.
I'm not buying that shit. I don't even have a Switch 2.
Yeah,
Jim, do it for Daddy.
Not yet. Oh, fuck Daddy. Daddy, kiss my goddamn ass.
Fuck Daddy should be a freaking sound command.
You bet your ass that's gonna be one.
Fuck Daddy.
Good. Fine. Wonderful. Great episode. But yeah, I mean, I hear it's cool. I hear the dig anywhere mechanic's cool. Everyone seems to love it. So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it should probably be there.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, this is actually the last game I beat in 2025 was Donkey Kong Bonanza. I literally rolled the credits before the end of the year, so that to me is like the final that's like the game that symbolizes the end of the year for me. I think I'm kind of low on it compared to other people because I think the whole like break everything mechanic kind of like overstays its welcome. Even
You
I
didn't
would
like
say
the
like
game until the very end. That's what you were saying in
that's
your
what
little
that's what I'm
in our
getting to. No,
Discord. Yeah.
well, because for example, like the whole cool thing about the break everything mechanics, like imagine there's like a cage and there's like a collectible behind the cage. How are you gonna get a collectible? So you think to yourself, oh, I can just break around the walls and grab the collectible, and that's a cool idea. But they don't really do much with that idea from the beginning of the game onward, and they kind of repeat like the same, rinse and repeat. Get to a new world, collect bananas, and just go from like checkpoint to checkpoint and talk to different characters. And to me it doesn't really like hit the same way it hit to other people. But I will say the final hour has like a really awesome reveal that really harkens back to like those old school Donkey Kong games, and that really put a giant smile on my face. So I would say that maybe it's better than the sum of its parts in that regard, and I did enjoy the ending of it, but I'm probably lower than most people when it comes to that game. I still think it's a good game, but probably will be in my lower like half of my top 10, I would say. It's not the killer app, I would say, like say maybe Breath of the Wild or Odyssey were for the Switch almost 10 years ago now, which is crazy. Oh
Yeah.
my god, the
The
Switch
Switch
is
is
9
still
years.
Switch is still waiting for its killer app, I think. But
Yeah, but it's still a very good game I can recommend, and I think for like younger kids, especially if you give it to your like your children to just like break stuff around, I think it can be fun for that.
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Number two, a game I do want to eventually play. I got to get around to it. Absolutely love the first one, Hades 2. Give me more Hades, but better. I'm in.
Yeah, this will be so Link to the Past, Silk Song, Hades 2. That's kind of like my pathing for the Switch.
Yeah, Hades 1 was one of my favorite games of 2020. I want to play Hades 2, but my reason is completely stupid. I'm going to wait for it to come for PS5 because it happened with the Switch 1 with Hades, the original, and it's so far only for Switch and Steam.
PC. Yep.
Yeah. And I know it's going to come for PS5 eventually because that's probably going to happen during the summer. I'm going to wait until then. And before you say anything, have you seen my backlog, all the games I'm going to play? I think I can wait a little bit for Hades 2, but that being said, all I keep hearing is just great things. I like how I believe her name is Melanoa. That's the name of the main character. She uses spells as opposed to using like like a sword like Zagreus does, or different like melee combat weapons. So you use spells to attack enemies as opposed to melee weapons. So I think that's a cool different like gimmick to the combat. And yeah, another great roguelike in 2025. Let's just add another one in, and definitely want to play it too. Absolutely.
Yep.
And
And
the last
finally,
game is a game that Blade really hates and that nobody talked about last year. Some bullshit, obscure game.
didn't win any awards. Didn't have to hear that goddamn theme song a billion times during the Game Awards. Claire Obscura, Expedition 33, a game that almost seemingly came out of nowhere and just took the world by storm. Lots of people are saying it's getting them into JRPGs for the very first time. It's a return to form for the genre and all that bullcrap. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested. Like, I'm not a big JRPG guy, but I am interested.
You're
just
not
to see if
gonna
it lives.
fucking play it. Don't even
I want to see if it lives up to
entertain.
the hype. I have to play a JRPG at some point during the year. Maybe that'll be the one.
No, we've already established you are going to play an old school JRPG. You're not gonna play some new bullshit.
Actually, it's an FRPG because it's French.
Yeah, there you go, Jim. So you can't play it. And even though you are French, you can't play it. So so yeah, here's the deal.
Man, Blade's streak ends in 7. What a good run he had.
About 6-7. Yes.
Fuck.
Just for that, you deserve that.
Yeah, listen, Blade, I know you're gonna explain why you love the game, and clearly everyone else loved the game.
Mm-hmm.
I like everything that looks about the game until you get to the battle. I don't like RPG style battles. I've never liked it. It's a system it's just dumb to me. But try to sell me on this game. Like what is it about it that you like so much?
Well, here's the thing, Brian. Do you remember what I told earlier doing this stream regarding Jim not liking Metroid Prime, despite the fact it's one of my favorite games? Sometimes You can sell the best you can, and if you're not into something, you're not into something. But I will tell you why I love it, and you can do with that information whatever the fuck you want. But I'll start with the combat. Why I like the combat more than like say other turn-based RPGs is the fact it's very reactionary and active as opposed to you just being passive the whole time. Because even when the enemy attacks you, it's like, you can lower the control and just watch him, dish damage at you. You have to actually be really good at parrying or dodging your attack. And parrying enemies in Expedition 33 is some of the most satisfying things in a game I've done in years. Just that little like thump sound, like when you manage to parry right, and then the camera like changes angles, and the character's like, "Nope, you thought you're gonna attack me, and I'm gonna dish twice the damage back to you," is unbelievably satisfying. If you like parrying in video games like Souls-likes and stuff like that, it's gonna be right up your alley. And I think in general, what makes the game work really well with the combat is that you always do something interesting. Because in a lot of turn-based RPGs, it's always the same thing in like attack, you go back to the line. Attack, you go back to the line. It's very repetitive. And in Expedition, I feel like every single turn, I can use like a special attack. And I can keep building out my my AP meter, like the magic, like the mana meter or whatever you want to call. And you can always do awesome special attacks all the freaking time. So it doesn't, it's not stale. Like it actually is visually engaging because you keep doing all those amazing spectacle of like moves the entire freaking time. But as I'm talking about the combat, really to me, what really hit the game is that whenever I tell people to play the game, I hate when people tell you what the premise is. Don't even look the premise up. I just like people to play the first hour and just react to what happened the first hour. And when I ask people, so what do you think of what happened in the story? I always get the, holy shit, they went that route. I didn't expect a game to go this, like, dark this fast. And they did. They had the cojones to do that. And there were so many of moments where like, oh shit, they went there. And it hit me really hard because the game, yes, it's very dark. It's very, it's not exactly like, happiness and sunshine. But I think what really holds it together is that it's incredibly well written and the characters are also very mature. It's not like, your traditional Japanese RPG of like, I'm going to save the world. I'm a 16-year-old kid that didn't even have enough, I'm not old enough to drink a beer, but I'm going to fight a giant dragon. It's not your traditional voice acting like those Japanese games. The characters feel real. I mean, they freaking have like Charlie Cox and Andy Serkis, if you want to talk like big Hollywood names. They put a lot of emotion into performance, and the characters are not perfect. They do a lot of, questionable things in the story, and you are not gonna like their decisions sometimes, but that's what makes them more realistic. And it's about dealing with loss and how one grieves and deal with loss. And I've lost a lot of family myself, so it hits me, personally. I lost my dad literally about a decade ago. I don't mind talking about it because I think, it's a very important subject to me. And the game kind of like tells in its very, artistic way of how it's like to deal with loss and when it's okay to let go, when it's okay to move on. And I don't say stuff like this very lightly. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is probably my top 10 games of all time. And because of how well it integrates story and combat together and how it hits me at my core, I don't give a crap of how many awards it won. I mean, I'm glad it did. But at the end of the day, awards, schmawards, if a game affects me in such a significant way that I think about it 3 months after I complete it, that to me is a game I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. I would say, again, I'm not going to convince you to play a game from a genre you don't like, because if you don't like a turn-based game, who am I to change your viewpoint? But I would say for the closest thing to like an action game, I think that may be the one to try out because of the very active battle system. And if you love parrying, I think parrying has actually become my favorite things to do in video games. Getting the timing right and destroying enemies with attacks is unbelievably satisfying. I don't want to talk so much about this game because I can go on for hours. It's one of my favorite games of all time now, and I absolutely adore it. And it gets one of my highest recommendations for any game I can make ever.
Well put.
Thank
So
you.
we're not
Now
gonna
I'm
play it,
seriously
I gotcha.
tearing up, actually seriously talking about it. Because it's again, but I'm not going to change your opinion, but I hope at least what I said like resonates a little bit.
No, it makes sense. And I mean, that's the beauty of games, right? Like we're all gonna have games that affect us in different ways. And I the fact that as you were speaking, I was also like watching some of the comment, and I see what you're saying about how you are engaged, you are doing quick time events or you're parrying, like you said. So it's not as the static to me, boring like menu simulator where you're
Yes.
just like it's more action oriented. So to call it a typical RPG in that sense, it's not. That spikes my interest a little more. So
Yeah.
I like that.
It has probably the best story in a game I've played in at least a decade I can think of. Like, if you like good narratives in games, I know Jim, you're not a big narrative guy, but this might actually be the one to finally change the course. You said it before many a podcast. I actually pay attention to shit. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But yeah, I mean, you can ask me more questions, but I don't want to just like, grind the same, argument over and over. I'm just going to say I love it. I would highly recommend it, but I know it's not your like, main genre that you delve into. But if you have to try one turn-based RPG,
Yeah.
that would be the one I would recommend, especially because it's not your traditional, like, cutesy, like, fantasy, like, JRPG. It does something different with the visuals of the medium and the storytelling that makes it more adult than other games. And by adult, I don't mean they have to say fucking shit every 2 seconds. Like, it actually feels like
Sir,
written by
this is a
adults.
family show. The hell?
Do we have to have like a fuck counter for every time we have said it so far in this fucking
Yeah.
podcast? Yeah.
Wouldn't hurt, actually.
Yeah. Shit, we've been off this freaking deep end like Nathan from Baby Steps.
We gotta change Jim's name to Nathan now on that little thing.
Yes. So now that we reached the end of the list, I just want to talk about a few games, but I'm gonna make it very quick. Just the stuff I thought might interest you, actually, both of you, very quickly. And then we can move on from the topic. Just a quick mention to quick Kirby Air Riders. The fact we got a new Kirby Air Ride and a Mario, like, and a new Mario Kart and a new Kirby Air Ride again, like twice, is weird. If you like the original Kirby Air Ride, I think it's pretty much more of the same, but just more refined. I respect that. Metroid Prime 4 came out.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. Nope. I also want to point out we got a Genesis game in 2025 with Eartheon. That was
I
pretty
have that
cool.
on Steam. I have to get around to playing that, but I have it on Steam.
Yeah, the fact it's like a Genesis game from the people who made Genesis games like 30 years ago is pretty sick. And I don't even like shmups. I mean, it's not usually I'm not really good at shmups at all. I usually die all the time at those, but
Same.
it's one that I actually beat and enjoyed, and I probably would recommend it to shmup fans. I would say let's go horror now. No mention of Chronos: The New Dawn, and I thought that's actually also one of the best horror games of 2025. If you heard about any of you heard of Chronos?
Nope.
Chronos: The New Dawn.
Chronos: The New Dawn is by Bloober Team, who made the Silent Hill 2 remake recently.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I once I looked it up, I realized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's basically their take on like the Dead Space formula. Basically being an astronaut stranded in space. I heard it's basically more about like resource management because you don't really have as much ammo even compared to Dead Space. And it's a special game to me because it came out on my birthday, so I'm biased. As opposed to Silksong, who came a day out before my birthday. Team Cherry, you could have waited one day to release it to make me feel special. But I heard Chronos is really good, and I think YouTube, being fans of horror, might enjoy that. And the last game I want to talk about is actually one of my favorite games of 2025 that barely gets any recognition. No mention of Doom: The Dark Ages.
That game got oddly shitted on, and I need to play it because I'm sorry, I played the original 2016, then what's it called? Eternal.
Eternal, yeah.
Both of them were excellent. So with more added weaponry, I don't know how people would hate it. Maybe it just doesn't do enough other than having updated weaponry. But
not controversy, but criticisms I heard is that it's like it's too slow in a way, and almost like they put too many gimmicks in it. That's the big things I heard. So I heard like people loved it for like the 2 weeks after it came out, and then no one ever talked about it again, except for being like, it was like all right, or it was too overwrought, if you want to say.
That is one for sure this year. I will play. I couldn't wait to play it last year, then tried to do all the resolution games. But this year, since I don't, I'll hit that one up.
Yeah.
Maybe for some reason it does. It fucked up the formula. I don't know.
I mean, my 2 cents about Dark Ages is that I'm not a Doom fan. I never grew up with Doom. I have no nostalgia for the series, but I enjoyed both 2016 and Eternal OK. I grew up again with those like action games like, Bayonetta and like the Souls games. So it has a lot of that DNA in Doom with the shield mechanic when enemies shoot particular like green like energy beams and you have to deflect them and, inflict more damage on them. I like that mechanic. But it's not slow at all. You have the ability to sprint, you just cannot double jump. But you can still do like a very long jump and like, carry a lot of speed and momentum through your jump. And then you can lock into an enemy, holding your shield like this and like home into the enemy, like falling on them and like smashing them to piles of flesh and bone, which is unbelievably fun. And what I tell the people about this game is that this is a violent Captain America simulator. You basically have this
shield.
Yeah. Your shield is essentially a frisbee of death. It's a buzzsaw that just cuts through enemies. And when you build it up, it's just so fun to just toss it around, have it like ricochet and like cut enemies all the freaking time. I think that they did a lot of changes to the formula that, it doesn't play like Eternal, but I actually appreciate a lot of those changes because it kind of becomes, like a melee game in some sense. And they also cut down on the glory kills. People complain there's not really that many of them in Doom Dark Ages, and I'm like, good. The pacing actually moves faster now. So I actually like that. The stuff that people don't like is that the mech sections, I agree, those are kind of eh. But there's sections when you're riding on a dragon, and they still kind of play like a shooter anyways. I mean, I prefer to be on the ground and shooting enemies that way. But I like the dragon sections okay. And even the story, while kind of pulpy, I kind of like how it connects to the grander like Doom like mythos, like the lore of Doom. So I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, I think it's really shame that people kind of forgot about it. Funny enough, and I'm surprised that it's gonna be high on my list because I actually really enjoyed it. And as I was talking, I actually remembered another game that came out that they didn't mention in their list, and that's something I didn't play, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 wasn't on their list.
Yeah, and that got some
which is
accolades and stuff. Yeah,
it was nominated enough, and it did get on a lot of other people's lists. So interesting it didn't show up.
Yeah, it was nominated for Game of the Year, but it wasn't enough for the top 25, I guess. Interesting. I haven't played it, so I have no opinion, but just a fascinating observation.
They might have just been trying to avoid controversy.
I guess, sometimes. To be politically correct, I suppose.
Yeah, so to wrap up our 2025s and going into our 2026s, Blade, you had a few resolutions that you wanted to do. We talked about ours last week.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm gonna try to avoid, playing the same version of one game at the end of the year, because I think doing Earthworm Jim 2 was too much for me. Like, you were talking last year about how about me whipping puppies, but have any of you played Earthworm Jim 2 ever? The second Earthworm Jim?
Very, very little bit.
There's one level in Earthworm Jim 2 called Puppy Love, where basically you have to use this giant marshmallow and bounce puppies from one end to the other.
I've seen that level before, yeah.
Yeah. So each round, you have to do this like 4 different rounds. There's 3 of those levels. So imagine like doing this like, 12 different rounds in the entire game. And doing like 4 versions of Earthworm Jim means that I've had to do it like what? 48 times? No, thank you. That part actually kind of ruined Earthworm Jim 2 for me a little bit. A game that I grew up in my childhood, and I was just like, nope, I'm done with that. So I was basically kind of like, making my own basic list. And I kind of like Jim's idea of like, trying as many different genres as possible, but kind of still keeping my idea of like, doing like the 10 games and maybe just like, choosing stuff from different consoles. And I want to see your take on some of the choices that I have, and maybe I'll like finalize it within the next couple of weeks. But some of the stuff I'm going to have to try to beat in 2026 are going to be God Hand for the PS2.
Okay.
I like the idea of like, like a 3D brawler beat 'em up, and I've heard great things about it. Rayman Origins. Apparently people say it's one of the best Rayman games, and after playing Rayman 1 last year, I need a good Rayman game now, so that would be kind of nice.
I played a tiny bit of Legends, and it was really fun. So, yeah, I think Origins is like around the same thing. So, you'll probably like it.
Because it was announced last year, not the last year, but the year before in 2024. I want to play Okami. I never played Okami, and I need to try Okami. Did any of you play Okami?
I've never played it actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I want to try out. In addition, as now I am the proud owner of an analog 3D, I actually do want to play more N64 games. And that actually reminds me. So in my 10 games to beat in 2025, I beat 8 out of 10 games. There are 2 that I didn't beat. One was Metroid Prime 3, and one of them is Star Fox 64. And I actually did not play it because I was waiting for my analog 3D. Now that I have it, it's on my list. So
Let's do it.
there you go, Jim. That's for you.
You can experience Peak.
And Brian, I do have a game for your. Actually, was looking in your top 10, 20 video. There's a game that I'm gonna mention soon that was actually in your top that I'm gonna play. So don't worry, it's a good one.
All right.
But besides that, I also have either Super Mario RPG or Paper Mario for the RPGs to play this year. I want to play maybe one of them. It'll be nice. Speaking of N64 game, I do want to play Conker's Bad Fur Day. I heard that game is raunchy and stupid, and I like my raunchy and stupid, so...
It's raunchy and stupid. Yeah, I was in... That was definitely hit during burnout of, like, the rare collectathon mode, but it's raunchy and stupid, so you get that going for you.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't really know if I want to play the original on N64, maybe just do the rare replay version. It's probably the more polished way to play it, I would imagine.
Probably,
I'll have a reason to play my Xbox Series X for once, so that's gonna be nice. So it's not like, like a dust trap.
Yeah, right.
I chose something for the Dreamcast. I chose a horror game. I realized I haven't had a horror game. Illbleed. I want to try Illbleed out. So, any of you played Illbleed, or you know of it at all?
I have it, and I haven't played it yet. So
yeah,
and I know of it, but I don't have it, so I'm not going to pay for that. Yeah,
I heard it's jank, but it also kind of like lampoons a bunch of like Sega tropes and stuff like that. So it's been interesting to me, and it's celebrating 25 years. So why not do it for Halloween or something? So that sounds like a fun idea. Here is the game. Okay, so for Jim, I'll do Star Fox 64. For Brian, I'm gonna play Super Castlevania 4.
always good pick.
Yeah, it's an
I've never played it. I want to do that, and probably what's the Genesis one? Bloodlines, right?
Bloodlines, yeah.
That's another one I want to try out. I also wrote Crusader of Senti, which is like the Zelda clone game that came out for Genesis. Crusader of Senti, maybe we'll see. For Saturn, I chose Guardian Heroes. Our Guardian Heroes is supposed to be really good. Another treasure action game. I'm not sure if any of you heard of that particular one either.
Yeah, no, I know Guardian Heroes. I actually played like the spiritual success. I mean, I played Dragon's Crown and Code of Princess, like all the spiritual successors kind of deal.
Yeah.
But and I was just like kind of on them. But like I hear Guardian Heroes is cool, so I don't know if I'd like enjoy it that much.
Yeah, and Absalom is kind of like cut from the same cloth when I'm thinking about it, but it's like that, but also the combat is more Streets of Rage, so
yeah, I'll probably like that
more. Yeah, exactly. Metal Storm for the NES, because I heard a lot of good things about that particular. I want to find like a good game for the NES, because I feel like I didn't really grow up with that console. And besides Mario 3, I'm like, what other like NES game am I really gonna love? Do you have like any NES games in particular that you two really like, enjoy yourselves that you can think of?
I mean, Contra, you can't go wrong with. Double Dragon 2 is great. I'm a big Zelda 2 fan, but most people aren't. Shut up, Brian. What else? Like, I'm not a huge NES guy, but like, you can play like for shoot 'em ups. Like, if you want to play like a Gun-Knack's really good. I would suggest emulating that because it's very expensive.
A retro game is expensive. Please stop the presses.
Shocker, I know.
Yeah. Literally looking at this collection just to get an idea. Or Mega Man. Obviously, I like Mega Man 2, but yeah, there's just a lot of
most
stuff.
of Mega Man's Mega Man 2, 3.
Guardian Legend, that might be a good one to do because it combines like,
like
it's
top-down action and shmup and
it's a hybrid kind of game, but it does a good job of balancing them all out.
Okay, that sounds good.
Blaster Master.
Yeah, Master, that's another one I actually was thinking about. Thank you for reminding me of that one.
Yeah,
because I played Batman
in 3.
I played Batman NES last year for my 10, and I finished it, but I didn't really like it as much as I hoped I will. So that was kind of unfortunate. It's actually the same with the Punisher for the Xbox, Brian. I really try to like that game, and I thought overall, despite its like, over the top violence and the writing kind of made me laugh, it is kind of like more of a generic third person shooter, but I respect it for what it is. But
Yeah.
that's kind of the point we're trying to make, is that you might like something that more than I will, and vice versa. It's okay. I gave it a chance at least. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for racing game, I thought of doing one of the Ridge Racers. I thought that would be fun to try, and I don't have a PS1 game, so I chose Type 4 for Ridge Racer. I heard it's the most robust one. It actually
That's supposed to be
feels
the
like
best one. Yeah.
Yeah, so
good
I
pick.
want to try that one out. And the last one, just literally what I hit earlier, is Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox, just to get that done as well.
Yep.
So I'm probably going to finalize that list, but just like what I said at the beginning of the stream is that I've beat close to 80 games in 2025, and I think it really took a big toll on me because I just felt like I had to get through everything and do as much as possible. And if you saw my tier list that I've made, there's a lot of C tier and D tier and F tier in that, and it just stopped being fun playing that many games. And I don't mind choosing the jank game every once in a while, but this year I'm gonna basically cut down on the mini games that I want to play and actually take my time and enjoy what I'm playing for once, so it doesn't feel like a chore. It's just like what Celia says: if it's not fun, why keep trying? Why do you torture yourself? So
I mean,
I
there is
love
such
the
a
bird.
thing. Damn it, Jim.
yeah, I like the bird too. Yeah,
There is such a thing as too many games.
yeah, it's usually in June in Oaks, Pennsylvania.
No, but I think you got a good list there. I think picking games are pretty it's going to be tough to say that any of them are going to be bad for you. So
Yeah.
I think that's a better way to go about it.
Yeah, and I have a suggestion. Like the same way that I've integrated like something in my list from you two, I would like to pick something for you as well. And again, I'm not gonna choose anything bad or something that you won't like. And maybe if you want, what we can do is you can give me like a list of something that you're interested of playing, and I'll give you one of those games to play. How about that?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
idea.
sure. That works.
Yeah, that way, like you can choose what you want to play. Give me like a list of 5 games, and I'll choose one, or however many you want to include. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know. So.
No,
And
we
that
can do
way,
that.
hopefully by the time we do this next year, we can talk about our findings and see what we all thought about the games we played. So look forward,
Hell yeah.
and I'm probably going to put it in the Discord. Like I'll probably make like a physical pile of all the games I'm going to play for 2026 and see how well I do. Hopefully I'll actually finish the 10 this time, because I almost did it in 2025. So I'll make and also I want to say, don't choose games that are super long. You don't have to do Black Myth Wukong if you don't have the energy to do 100 hours of a Souls-like. Play something that can be easy and fun. That you
That's
might
why I'm
enjoy.
also just not doing. I chose some of the longest possible games. They were
Yes.
great, most of them, but they were very long. So,
That's why I'm doing only one RPG, because I know this is gonna just be
Yeah.
very like time consuming. So we're all
Nice.
adults. We all have other things to do. So
yeah.
Too true. On that note, Blade, thank you once again for coming on, for giving us your expertise on the new games from the past year that, of course, we don't have the time for. And, always a pleasure talking to you, man. 7 years running. Cheers to that. Brian, before you log off, how'd you like your beers?
Christmas ale was delicious, and then I switched over to the Stowe cider donut. A great little dessert cider if you like ciders, but it's more of a dessert flavored thing. So I would recommend it if you ever happen to go up in that area.
There you go. Like I was saying before, this blackberry Oreo, extremely much a dessert beer, but it was delicious and actually gave the flavor profiles that it was advertising, which is more rare than you would expect. And then after that, I went with good old both Coors and Keystone. So now I have to pee like a goddamn racehorse. So, on that note,
and I
wanna
finished my Mexico.
glad, buddy. You know what? You made me proud.
I'm a heavy drinker. Can I just say one more thing before we say goodbye to everyone? I want to
Sure.
say just something very... Considering this is the 7th time I'm doing this, I just want to say you guys do such a phenomenal job like doing this podcast. And again, I really enjoy this every single January, getting invited and do this. And to me, I know we joke, like we make crass jokes, because we're friends, we're buddies. But I want to say something from the heart for once. Just thank you for being making me be a part of this, and I really enjoy being a part of your community. And you do put a lot of hard work with everything you guys do, and I wish you nothing but success. I know you just reached the 9K. Get to 10K and break some records, because I know you two can do it. And just thank you for being good friends in general, and I'm really proud of you both.
Oh, thank you, bud. We always appreciate having you on. And yeah, we bust balls and we joke, but no, we always like having you on. That's why we enjoy it and want to keep this going. So yeah, help us get to 10K and let's in a year talk about
Subscribe.
beating. That's right.
That's right. Hit that button, everybody. Look, Brian's not busting his ass making these daily shorts for nothing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. But with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for listening, for watching. Make sure hit up Blade's socials below as well. But if you are watching us, make sure hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, hit a like, leave us some comments. And if you're listening on Podbean, iTunes, or Spotify, if you leave us a 5-star rating, we'll read each and every one of your comments, especially if it tells Jim to play baby steps. So with that, we want to say have a good night, everyone. Cheers.
Success takes baby steps.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh, penis!